Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, Watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another Monday Night Fire, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach, Malak Abishai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahushua. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing His truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom to those men, especially in these winter elements, in season, out of season, in the rain, freezing cold, sub-zero weather, negative. Those brothers are still out there pushing this word on a high level. So shalom to those brothers. Shalom to the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying. They're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom to those men. Shalom to the Akwap out there, the sisters, sincere sisters in this thing, holding it down in the households, zealous, on fire, diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers and magnifying their talents. Shalom to those sisters. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children growing up in this truth. Shalom to everybody tuning in live through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Rashad, Don Israel, Vernon Brody, Brother Azariah, Shalom King, Quadan, Nigel Blends, HBK Int, Yazian, David, Yehuda Israel, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. Now, this week is a week of demons, wickedness, sorcery, witchcraft. People are preparing themselves, their households, and their families for idolatry, lust, pride, covetousness, freakism, and just outright vanity, right? So-called December 24th at sundown, so-called December 25th, people are getting ready for one of the world's most famous, lucrative, wicked, idolatrous full days, so-called Christmas Eve and Christmas. And this is the harsh truth, the harsh pagan truth about Christmas. Now, if you are in this truth, and if you didn't know about Christmas, we're going to expose and reveal the hidden depths of so-called Christmas. Now, we do a video like this every year, and every year there's more information. And we're going to dive and cover as much as we can through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Rashad to thoroughly persuade our people to leave these worldly holidays and these worldly customs, repent, acknowledge their sins and their transgressions, and come back to Yahweh Shema Rashad and keep the feast days that the Most High hath ordained to be kept by His sons and His daughters in these last days, right? So again, December 25th, we're going to dive into why it's December 25th, where it came from, the ins and outs, the origins, and we're going to dive into this through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Rashad, right? Let's kick it off with Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14, right? Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse number 21. Right? This Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse number 21. It reads, and this, actually I'm going to start at 22. Salaki, bear with me. Right? It reads, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and 22. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God. But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. See, and this is for our people, mainly. See, our people err in the knowledge of the Most High God, right? Our people are completely ignorant. They really believe that December 25th is Jesus Christ's birthday. I mean, they'll die on that. They'll say on my mother, my dad, mother's grave, on God, on them, on this, that, and the third, on my unborn children, or people will swear up and down and will die and fight over the fact of Jesus Christ's birthday being December 25th. If you go in a family house and tell them, take that tree down, it's rooted in ancient Babylonian sorcery and witchcraft, and you'll get ostracized, man. You know, you'll get kicked out the house. Certain family members still literally want to fight you. Certain family members, they'll kill you, man. You know, if you go in there and you ask them, why do you keep it on this day? Why is it around this time every year? Show me in the Bible where it says this is Jesus Christ's birthday. Who's Santa Claus? Why is he a white man? Where did this come from? And if you start really pressing these people, then they're not going to have the answers because they have erred in the knowledge of God. But whereas they lived in a great war of ignorance, and this is the great war of ignorance right here, man. In these last days, with Yahweh Shai putting so much truth on the earth and revealing the secrets that have been kept from the foundation of the world, and people are striving to obtain this knowledge. This is a war right here. Because on one hand, the Most High is pushing the truth. On the other hand, Esau is pushing ignorance through vanity, deception, sorcery, witchcraft, you know? So this is a war right here to obtain knowledge. There's a great war of ignorance going on. You have the sons of the living God, the men of the Lord, going into the prophecies, going into the breakdowns, revealing these things. Then you have Esau, these elites on the left-hand side, also going to war against your mind. The Lord said, those so great plagues called they peace, and Christmas is a plague in every so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man's, woman, and child's household, man. It is a plague. That's nothing that you should not be happy on this day. You should not leap for joy and run and see what's under the tree. You should not hang up the mistletoe. You should not wrap gifts. You should have nothing to do with this most disgusting, wicked, pagan, demonic, satanic, filth-ridden day, man. This is the era that our people are living in, right? Let's go to 1 John, right? Let's go to 1 John chapter 4 real quick. And we're going to dive. We got a lot we got to get into, right? We got a lot we want to get into. This is 1 John chapter 4 and verse number 5. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. And these are the main two spirits on earth. These are the spirits going to war. When we write about the great war of ignorance and the people that err in knowledge, it's because they have the spirit of error. It doesn't matter if they are into a false god, or if they're eating unclean foods, or if they're adulterers. It all sums up as the spirit of error, right? And if you believe in Yahweh Shai and sincerity and in truth, doesn't matter what congregation you're in, what camp you're in, how long you've been in this truth, you have the spirit of truth that the Most High gave you. See, and if you're in this truth, the people of the world, they're not going to hear you when you talk about Christmas. This isn't going to get millions of views and likes and go viral. Whereas the worldly pranks and folly and sports and entertainment and drama amongst celebrities, that stuff goes viral. Everybody wants to hear that. It's about gossip, slander, murmuring, fights, and violence. And they are of the world. Therefore speak they of the world. Therefore they talk about Christmas. They're saying happy holidays. They're saying I have the Christmas spirit on me because they're of the world. And they're going to speak of worldly holidays and worldly customs. And they're going to get a reaction. And the world hears them. Christmas movies are being bought at a massive level. Christmas movies are being showed all throughout the world of television. The world hears them. But what did the Lord say in verse 6? We are of the Most High. So we're not of the world. We're of the Most High. He that knoweth the Most High heareth us. So if you know this truth, you know Yahweh Shai, you know that we're the Most High's chosen people. We have to repent, put away sin, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, right? In sincerity and in truth, the Most High is going to hear you, right? And those who are in the Most High, they're going to understand the information that you're giving them. They're not going to scoff and rail, right? He that is not of the Most High heareth not us. Again, hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. And you're going to be able to discern in these last days between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. Who has the spirit of truth? Who has the spirit of error? Let's get that in Malachi, the 3rd chapter. Right? So like I want Malachi chapter 3. And we're going to dive into this. Right? Malachi chapter 3 and verse number 18. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, and between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. And you're going to find this out chiefly amongst Israel, what men call the Israelite community, which I don't really like using those words, but for lack of better terms, let's use that. You're going to discern between who's really in this truth around this season. See, a lot of people, they're active on social media. They may be active on YouTube or active, in the world of Israel. But for some odd reason, which we know, for some odd reason, they go missing. They're not as prevalent on social media. They don't make enough a lot more videos like they used to. Why? Some of these guys are celebrating Christmas, man. Some of these sisters, they go missing. And they pop back up after Christmas, after the holiday season. Some people are going to wear, like I believe Amos said that a few weeks ago, some people are going to have those Christmas sweaters on, man, with fringes on them. Telling you don't be over righteous. It's just a Christmas sweater with reindeers and Santa Claus on it. The Lord said we got to be wise as a serpent. Be not righteous over much. Some Israelites, they're going to do it for the children. They're going to proclaim that they're not going to celebrate Christmas, but they're going to do it for the children. They're going to accept Christmas gifts. They're going to go over their families and eat Christmas dinners. They're going to indulge in every festivity, from putting a star on top of the tree to wrapping up the gifts. A lot of Israelites are going to get caught out there, man, and tempted and lured away through the wiles of the devil. Then you're going to have the righteous that stand boldly, who despise Christmas commercials, who hate Christmas caroling, who despise the damn trees, the Christmas trees, if you will, and everything that this worldly holiday stands for. Man. I hate Christmas, man. I hate when people say happy holidays to me, Merry Christmas. I don't want to hear that, man. We got to deal with it enough at the so-called plantation. People, to and fro on the earth, man. You got damn decorations and Santa Claus and reindeers, man. And if it was up to me, which is not, but if it was up to me, I will burn all that stuff down, man. And we want to know who's serving the Most High and who is serving him not, right? And who is serving him not. Let's get another quick precept. Let's go to Luke, the 1st chapter, right? So this so-called holiday season, man, is going to do a lot of exposing, right? Unfortunately, it's going to do a lot of exposing, right? This is Luke. I want chapter 1 and verse number 6. It reads, "And many of the children of Israel shall he turn to Yahweh by Shemel their God." And that's speaking about really John the Baptist, but it's Elijah in the spirit, whom the Lord will send before the great and terrible day of the Lord. So the Most High has the spirit of Israel being turned back to the Most High. And he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. So there's a people on the earth right now that's prepared for the Lord, man. They're studying, they're reading, they're putting on their fringes, they're loving their neighbor, they're separating from the world. They have put the blunts down, the pork down, the unclean foods, man. The sisters, they have their dresses on, their head wraps on. They're reverencing their husbands. The men are taking care of their families. They have examples. There's a people on the earth that is prepared for the Lord. Now, a sure sign, if you're part of these people, is if you are celebrating the holy days of God, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. What do I mean by that? For brothers that may be new, your Feast of Unleavened Bread, which includes your Passover and the remaining days, right? You have your so-called Pentecost, right? Or your Feast of Weeks. You have your memorial blowing of the trumpets. You have your Day of Atonement. You have your Feast of Tabernacles. You have your Feast of Dedication. You have your destruction of Nicanor. You have back-to-back days of Purim. You got the Day of Simon. You have all these major feast days. Those people that keep those feast days, they are these people that went from being disobedient and they became part of the wisdom of the just, right? To make ready a people prepared for the Lord, right? So either you're prepared to serve Satan or you're a part of the people prepared for the Lord, right? So let's dive into this so-called sentiments, right? And we call it sentiments because it's a day full of sin, a day full of wickedness, and a day just really full of lust, right? It's a day full of lust. Here's the etymology of the word Christmas. We're going to dive into every detail, most high willing, of this day. Christmas, two words. It's a compound word, Christ and mass, right? Christ and mass. Christ goes back to the Greek word Christos, which means anointed. And mass is a ceremony. It is a religious ceremony that involves a priest and that involves particular rituals. That's where the word Christmas comes from, Christ and mass, right? When you go into the word Christ, right? Let's go into this, right? Let's go into Matthew, 16th chapter, right? We're going to break this down and dive into the end of this thing, right? From the beginning to the end. Matthew 16 and 16. And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Christ is not the Lord's name. Christ is simply a title. That's why he said the Christ, right? You got people saying, what's his name? Christ. Christ is not his name. The Lord's name is Yahweh Shai, which means he deliverer, or he is the deliverer. When you add the articles in this man's language, English language. Now the word Christ goes back to the word Christos. That's where you get the root word of Christmas from, right? Here's it in the Greek, Christos, and it means anointed, right? Anointed. Christ was and is the Messiah, the Son of God, right? And the Messiah in the Hebrew is Mashiach, which means anointed, right? So in the Hebrew, it's Mashiach or Messiah, right? Which would be the translation. And in the Greek, it's Christos, translated to Christ, all right? Now, the Lord is the anointed because he was anointed by the Heavenly Father with the oil of gladness above his fellows as a high priest and as a king. All kings are anointed from the seed of Judah. Priests are even anointed. So the Lord has been anointed by the Heavenly Father for the burdens that he was sent to do on the earth, right? As the King of Kings and as the Lord of Lords. So that's where Christmas goes back to. It goes back to Christ, right? And we all know that. And then we go into the word mass. So when you look this up, here's the etymology, meaning the origin of the word, right? Church festival observed annually in memory of the birth of Christ. Late Old English, Christus Mass, right? That's where you get Christmas from the Old English Christus Mass, from Christ and Mass. Written, and we're going to touch on this when it says in memory of the birth of Christ, right? Let me get a ride back here.
Shalom, King.
Shalom, King. Shalom. Shalom.
So,
when it says the birth of Christ, we're going to touch on that. Christmas has nothing to do with the birth of Christ. There's no scripture that supports that. There's no precept that any Christian can pull to validate that. All Christians, if you're a Christian and you're watching this, pull up the scripture. We'll shut the whole live down. We'll shut the whole live down, and I'll take my Mithra off, man. Right? I'll take my fringes and I'll throw them away somewhere, man. If you could show me a scripture that shows that Christ, that the Lord Yahweh Shai was born December 25th, right? It reads, and we're going to touch on that. Written as one word from the middle 14th century as a verb to celebrate Christmas. So it went from Christus Mass. Then around the time of the 1300s, during the time of the Renaissance, they put it together. They called it Christmas, right? They called it Christmas. This is where the etymology of this word comes from, the origin of the word. Now, we touched on Christ in the Greek, goes back to Christos, which means anointed. Now, when you go to Mass, for you Jakes, mainly you Northern Kingdom, who go to a Roman Catholic church, there's something that they have on Saturdays, predominantly called Mass, right? If you're part of Roman Catholicism, you've been to Mass, right? Mass is a ceremony for the Catholic Church that involves white supremacy and idolatry. That's all it's about. There's no scripture where the Lord says, speaking to Moses, and tell the children of Israel, on the 13th day of the month of Bib, thou shalt have Mass. Right? There's no scripture on it. Okay, Peter. And Peter said, who art thou? He said, it is the Lord. And Peter said, what wantest thou? Here am I, Lord. And the Lord said unto Peter, every 25th day of the 9th month or the 12th month, thou shalt celebrate Mass. Right? Write this down as a memorial for the children of the earth, that it may be as a testament forever and ever. Where's that at, man? And it says, and Peter did all that the Lord commanded. It's not there. So this word Mass, it says, when you look it up, Eucharistic service, right? Eucharist, right? Roman Catholicism. Middle English, Mass or Mass. From the Old English, Mass. From Vulgar Latin, Messa. Eucharistic service, right? So it is a service of the Roman Catholic Church that they have to celebrate what you think, and we're going to show you it's not, what you think is the birth of Christ. It is a ritual. For everybody that celebrates Christmas, you are actively involving yourself in a ritual to false gods and idols. All right, we're going to prove that, right? And you got it, right? Get in there. You know, if you had a point of precept.
Khan, I want to bring up this quick precept. And you know, our people, they love the world, right? That's what it boils down to. They love Christmas, they love gifts, they love coming together falsely under something other than the Most High. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, and verse number 30. Right? I'm gonna start at 29. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, and verse 29. It says, shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord? Right? So you can't get away with something, you know, like giving gifts, you know, decking your face. Here you are, a grown man wearing a hat with a big ball at the end and a suit, dressing up, changing your character, who you are, bouncing strangers on your lap, right? Giving away money, right? Everywhere I go, somebody saying, all right, happy holidays to you, right? It puts a false, evil spirit on you, man, of deception. You know, whereas the love should be genuine. Shouldn't take the so-called white man to tell you when to give a gift, tell you when to love, tell you when to come together with family. See, that's the problem with our people, man. Right? The Lord was in line when he said we are lost sheep, right? Just guided to whatever force. It's like we're meant to follow. And if we're not following the Most High, we're going to destroy ourselves. It says, shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land, right? So horrible things are committed in the land. The prophet prophesied falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. This is the point. And my people love to have it so. So Israel loves to hear false divinations. They love holiday songs. They love club music. They love anything false, giving them hope, prosperity, or anything linking up to the Most High. That's not the truth. It says, my people love to have it so, right? And what will ye do in the end thereof? Well, what are you going to do when the Lord visits the earth and destroys this place? Right? You can't love all of these false holy days, man, on the left-hand side. Right? I want to get one more precept through the spirit in the book of Hosea. Right? I want to get Hosea chapter, let me see what I want. Chapter 8 and verse number 14. Right? It says, for Israel have forgotten his maker. And that's what it boiled down to. You forgotten the God of Israel. Right? Jesus Christ, so-called, was not born on December 25th, man. In the middle of dead winter. It said, and build of temples. That's what you do spiritually to these other gods. Right? You all come together and you give a sacrifice. And Judah have multiplied fenced cities, but I will send a fire upon his cities and shall devour the palaces thereof. So the Lord's going to destroy all your palaces, your temples, all things you give to sacrifice unto these false gods. You got it.
I just want to get another quick precept in Jeremiah that's right, man. Right. And that's why we have to go into lessons like this. We have to go and break down the strongholds of our people, man. Because again, you got brothers that are new in this truth. You got sisters, and they still battling. Well, I don't really know. My parents, my pastor, my deacon, my bishop, my so-called father in the Catholic Church, he's telling me that this is the way, that this is the Lord's birthday, and we have to celebrate baby Jesus, right? And again, you put the burden on your so-called religious leaders, and you ask them to prove this. See, that's the problem with Jake, man. Which goes to the point that you said that our people follow anything, man. Right? We don't search matters out. I want to get this in Jeremiah 29 and 12. I started 11. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith Yahweh, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me when ye search for me with all your heart. So our people have to search out these scriptures, man. Right? You can't just go to a Roman, a Catholic church at mass, and they swing a censer full of God knows what, and all they do is speak in Latin, right? And they give you a book of hymns to sing, but you can't. There's nothing in the Roman Catholic Church. I went to a Catholic school for a period of time, and we had to go to mass, and you got to pull them pews down, and there's nothing but Edomite images, and there's no scriptures coming out. There's not even a Bible that they give you to search. Nobody's searching for the Most High. Because if you search for the Most High with all your heart, then you will find out that December 25th has nothing to do with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Just a regular day of darkness on the earth, man. If you search Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua with all of your heart, meaning your mind, then you will find out that you wouldn't want to eat a Mike, man, sliding down your damn tree, man. I mean, your damn chimney, eating all your damn food, freaking off, man. Spying on your sons and daughters, man. If you search Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua with all your heart, then you would know the origins of the tree. You would know about Nimrod. You would know about these things, man. And our people don't seek out information. They don't find the Most High, right? They don't find the Lord. So you have to seek information. You have to find knowledge. Let me get that real quick in Proverbs 25 real quick. You have to seek out the Lord, right? The Lord said, the more thou searches, the more thou shalt marvel, greatly paraphrasing Second Ezra, right? Proverbs chapter 25 and 2. It is the glory of the Most High to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. And you don't think the Most High concealed certain customs of worldly holidays, man? The Lord did that on purpose, by design. He didn't show you about the origin of Christmas. He concealed your nationality. This isn't just talking about, okay, the Lord concealed the breakdown of the seven thunders. Go search it out. No, the Lord has concealed your nationality. He has concealed your language. He has concealed true information and knowledge regarding worldly holidays and customs. He has concealed these things. They are shrouded in darkness. But if you're a king, if you're an honorable man, you're going to search out these matters, and you're not just going to be a yes man to the so-called white man, right? And you're going to question why? Why does this happen? Why is it on this day? Why is it a tree? Who was born? You're going to ask these questions, man. And you're going to search out these matters, right? You got it, King.
Khan, that's right. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 44, and I'm going to start at verse number 15, right? Because this is the same spirit that was in the Babylonian captivity, right? And it reads, then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt and Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, as for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. And you'll tell your grandmother, man, right? You'll tell your grandfather, you'll tell your brother, right? You have certain wicked family members that just mock the truth. We don't care. I'd rather have it so. right? Like the scriptures, that same evil spirit that was in the ancient world is back on the earth and to the hearts of these men walking around, man. Right? It says, but we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our mouth. Right? What goes out of your mouth? Fun, laughter, gifts, right? You want to hear that I think it's Boys the Men, Let It Snow, man.
Right, right.
Right? Mariah Carey, the same song all the time, man. The same spirit, right? You want to have your cocoa. You want to put marshmallows in your cocoa. You want to wear them big fat socks, right? You want to stand around the fireplace, man, and watch Charlie Brown. It says to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For them, right, then had we plenty of victuals. So what they're basically saying is when we serve other gods, we have fun. We get immunities, we get pleasures, we get gifts. And when you serve other gods on the left-hand side, that's exactly what you get. You get pleasure for a season. You get the lust of enjoying your flesh for a moment of time, right? That's not going to be in the kingdom. There's not going to be any confusion in the kingdom. They said, look, you want me to serve this God of Israel where all I do is keep the commandments and I suffer pain and misery, right? That makes no sense. I'd rather serve the gods on the left-hand side. I have plenty of victuals and food. It says, and we, Salakia, and where, well, Salakia, saw no evil. So they said, look, when we serve other gods, we don't see no evil. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. That's exactly what's going to come, right? You could prolong, right, your sin for a season, but the Lord is going to get up with you. And all these accounts is that they lusted and the Lord got up with them and destroyed them. So you could gather around that tree all you want. You could gather your spirit around these false idols all you want, but you're breaking the first commandment. And one thing a lot of Israel don't know is that the Most High is jealous, man. His name is jealous. So the things you do, you have to watch the spirit you move in because you're provoking the Most High to wrath. You got it.
That's right. That's right. You either serving Yahweh, Bashmel Shai, or you serving Satan, man. It's no in between. It's no in between. So we're gonna, like I said, we're diving into this. We broke down the word Christmas, where it came from, Christ, right, which is the Greek word Christos, right? And then you have Mass, which is a religious ceremony. It tells you in quick precept, which we go into all the time, and Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter. We read about these ceremonies, right? So Mass is a religious ceremony, right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse number 23. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites. So Christmas, well, we're going to touch into it. There were child sacrifice going on Christmas in the Roman Empire during Saturnalia and other customs, right? The sacrificing of pig, freakism, lewd sex parties, madness, demons. It is by far the most demonic holiday on the earth. Now you could argue, well, what about this? And what about Mother's Day? What about, well, once we dive into and we really start digging deep into how wicked this day is, then you may agree. Child sacrifice was going on. They say, I don't believe that. Not my Jesus. You know? It says, or use secret ceremonies. So this is a public ceremony. You know? You're involving yourself in a religious ceremony. Those gifts going under the tree, that is a ritual. Just like the high priest, they have particular rites that they have to do. What happened to Nadab and Abihu? They didn't take their incense and light it from the fire of the brazen altar. So they died. They lit strange fire. They have to go about the ritual the right way. If you don't wash yourself and take your garment off and then put your new garment on as the priest and go into the tabernacle, you die. If you don't remove the caul with the liver and these things, the caul of the liver and the kidneys and certain things for particular sacrifices, you die. The Most High is very meticulous about his ritual. And guess who else is? Satan. Satan is very meticulous about his rituals. Those gifts have to be wrapped in season. That tree has to be set up before the 25th. That star must be on top, right? These things have to happen. And if they don't happen, then you didn't celebrate it the right way, you know? And these are revelings of strange rites, right? Strange customs. They kept either, this Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 24, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously or grieved him by adultery, right? Now, this is from Sloans.co, The History of Christmas. We're not going to read all of these articles, but I'm going to touch on this point right here, right? The word Christmas originated as a compound meaning Christ's Mass, which is a ceremony to celebrate the birthday of Jesus Christ. And we know, if you don't know, you can look it up, that in a world of Satanism, birthdays are the highest day of regard. So this is the most satanic day. When you celebrate birthdays, it is the highest satanic day of the order of Satanism, right? But reading on, it is derived from the Middle English Christmas and Old English Christ Mass, a phrase first recorded in 1038. Christmas is an annual celebration commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, who Christians believe is the Son of God. So they believe that he's born December 25th, right? And we're going to touch on that. We're going to touch on that. Now, why do they say December 25th, right? And we can go, all right, if you got precept scriptures, just cut me off anytime. But we're going to touch on the birthday of Mithra and Jesus. So Mithra is a famous god, so-called famous god, an Elamite East Indian god that the Romans started to serve. So when you study Mithra, Mithra's so-called birthday, and Mithra is a so-called god that was invented over 1,000 years before the birth of our Lord. Before Yahushua was born, there was a so-called god or goddess named Mithra, whose birthday was December 25th. I'm going to say that one more time. 1,000 years or so before our Lord Yahushua was born, who they claim was born December 25th, the world celebrated Mithra's birthday as a false god on December 25th. And many other so-called pagan gods have their birthdays around the time of the winter solstice. So I'm going to touch on a quick point. We're not going to read this whole thing. If you want to read this on your own, you're more than welcome to. You can read about Mithra, right? But let's jump down real quick. It reads, it appears that the annual celebration held on December 25th, the winter solstice, was the most important celebration of the cult. So if you were into Mithra back in the ancient world before the Lord, December 25th was the top day. There was no greater day than December 25th. That was the day of the winter solstice. The winter solstice is when the day period is the shortest. All right, you got an equinox, which nox means night, equal meaning winter, when you have equal daylight and equal nighttime hours. Equal light, equal darkness. Then you have a solstice. In the wintertime is when the darkness is the majority of the day, which goes into worshiping demons and false gods. This is the most important day of the worship of Mithra. This is where Jesus Christ's birthday, being on December 25th, comes from. It was believed Mithra was born on this day. Hence, the birthday of the unconquered sun, right? Of the unconquered sun. Later, the practices of the cult seem to have gained much in popularity. With the advent of Christianity, a number of pagan practices, which could not be abandoned, found their way into this new religion, like Easter, Christmas. These are pagan customs that found their way into the doctrine of the scriptures. The most significant of these was the identification of the birthday of Jesus, commonly known as Christmas, with that of the undying Mithra. Right? It's a little bit more than that. Much has been written on pagan cults in the Roman Empire, and in particularly, attention has been paid to the cult of Mithra. Right? So Mithra is where, or the birthday of Mithra is why December 25th has been selected as the date of the birth of Christ. Because again, all ancient nations have a so-called God related to the time of darkness on the earth because they're heathen, right? So the winter solstice, which is the shortest time of light, was a season dedicated to heathen to exalt their gods. And there's no scripture that supports the Lord being born on December 25th, right? But again, it goes back to Mithra and ancient gods of Egypt and Babylon and Mesopotamia, who had gods that were worshipped around the time of December 25th. What you got it, King?
Khan, that's right. Right, I want to bring this out. It's the book of Jeremiah, right? Chapter, I'm going to start at 23 and start at 20. Right? Right, and it reads, it says, the anger of the Lord shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it perfectly. I have not seen these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my word, then they should have turned them from their evil way and from the evil of their doings. Salakia, am I a God at hand, saith the Lord, and not a God afar off? Can any hide himself in secret places, that I shall not see him, saith the Lord? Do not I fill heaven and earth, saith the Lord? Right? So these are going into false prophets. And all of these false prophets and these deities and these liars, they seduce Israel, man. That's something that's always been happening from the foundation of the earth, even until now. Right? Idolatry, lies, right? Soothsayers, wizards, warlocks, wizards, all of these different things they soothsay and bring the children of Israel. Right, I want to get one more quick precept in Ezekiel, right? The 8th chapter. Ezekiel chapter 8. Right? We get straight to the point in verse number 10. Right? It says, so I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping thing. Now, these are the elders of Israel. They're supposed to be the high ones up, man. Right? The nobles. An abominable beast, and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. And this is spiritual. Why? Because we make up the temple. We make up what's that hidden part deep down within. See, a lot of brothers have darkness and lust deep down within them, and they have these portraits and these lies all in their souls, man. You have to cleanse yourself. See, men couldn't see what they were doing. Only the Most High had to reveal this in the darkness. When these men went down to all of their abominations, and they had all type of beasts, lizards, all type of fowls of the air, gods of Egypt. They had all of these things portrayed on the wall. It says, and there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them stood Jeconiah, the son of Shaphnah, and every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. So they give him praise and magnifying these false gods, right? In verse 12, that's the point. Then said he unto me, son of man, thou hast seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark, every man in his chambers of his imaginary. And a lot of you brothers still take gifts, man. You still receive gifts, even in this truth. You still give a gift, or you still come over and you chalk it up that I'm just visiting family. I just wanted to check on my grandmother. She's in town. Now, I mean, I haven't done anything nice. You know, my brother got on me one year, man. It was years ago. Right? He said, you ain't never give my niece nothing. And he said it just like with an evil spirit, man. You ain't never give my niece nothing. And he said it like a demon, man. I said, that's off. I said, if I'm gonna give her something, I'm gonna give her something, when I want to give her something. But a spirit hopped on him. See, these spirits, they hop on you and they make you feel entitled, right? They pull it. Esau is a wizard and he tells you how to think, what spirit to be in. See, the Most High is our God. He tells us when to light the menorah, right? He tells us when to dress up and get ready for Passover and get ready to get the lamb. See, we need to be told what to do on the right hand side, but Esau, he tell you what to do on the left hand side, how to dress, right? St. Patrick's Day, everybody has on green, right? He shifts the world in the same spirit and has the children of men following. It says, in the chambers of his imaginary, for they say, the Lord seeth us not, the Lord hath forsaken the earth. And a lot of men, just because you're not getting judged or you don't see the signs and the wonders of the Most High, doesn't mean he forsook the earth, right? But you got it, King.
Khan is right. And, this is a good part right here. It says what they do in the dark. And this goes back to what we're going into. Darkness is worship, man. A lot of people worship darkness too, man. A lot of these ancient heathen, they worship darkness. They have secret ceremonies in the dark. They freak off in the dark. And the Lord said in that made me think of the precept in the book of John, the 3rd chapter, right? So Christmas is really about the worship of Mithra and darkness, right? Prevailing over light, which means you're worshiping really Satan over the Most High, right? That's what it goes back to, the worship of Satan. This is first Slakia, John chapter 3 and verse number 19. And this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. And that's what it comes down to, man. People love darkness, man. People love to put shades on in a dark room and all black. You got to watch your brother that wear all black all the time. All black, dark shades, hoodie on. Watch that guy, man. And you got to watch out for people that, there's a saying where it says the freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. When we at the harbor in the summertime, springtime, I mean, when that sun go down, man, it's like a portal of demons that just come out of nowhere. Women come out with no clothes on, dudes and violent men coming out, people rubbing their mittens, man. It's the nighttime, I'm in my zone. Clubs, freakism, idolatry. People love darkness rather than light. Why? Because their deeds were evil. Because when you're doing evil in the dark, you can't be seen. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. So people don't want to get this truth, man, because they're going to get checked. And one thing a Negro hates is being checked, man. He hates being corrected. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in God, right? So this day is about going into darkness and serving diverse gods. And we're showing you that, again, that Mithra, whose birthday is December 25th, and it's not just Mithra, right? It's a lot of ancient gods whose birthday is around December 25th, right? Most ancient gods have a birthday, which makes absolutely no sense for your god to have a birthday, right? How's Mithra a god but it has a birthday? Anyways, most ancient gods have a birthday around December 25th. Now, here's another article. This is to prove that. This is deities of the winter solstice. These are different gods that are worshipped around the time of Semmas. Now, these gods, a lot of them predate the birth of our Lord Yahushua. That's the key point, that the worship of a lot of these gods are thousands or hundreds of years before our Lord was even born. Now you can say, well, that's a coincidence. The Lord was still born December 25th. No, they made it December 25th by design, the Roman Empire, because it was the worship of every false god of darkness, right? So I'm not going to read all of this article, but we can just sum through some of these names or read through some of these names, right? While it may mostly be pagans who celebrate the Yule holiday, we'll touch on that. Today, nearly all cultures and faiths have held some sort of winter solstice celebration, or festival. You see that? Because of the theme of endless birth, life, death, and rebirth, the time of the solstice is often associated with deity and other legendary figures. No matter which path you follow, chances are good that one of your gods or goddesses has a winter solstice connection. Hey, everything but this truth, man. Everything but this truth, right? So they have again, all these gods. I'm not going to really go through them all. Alcyon in Greek, right? Who nest in the winter who nest in the wintertime for 2 damn weeks, man. Right? You have Amaterasu in Japan, right? Who's in the wintertime in a remote cave. You have Baldur. You have Frigga. I believe that's where Friday comes from. You have Bonadea, which is a Roman god. I'm not going to name all these. Demeter. Through her daughter Persephone, Demeter is linked strongly to the changing of the seasons and is often connected to the image of the dark mother in winter, right? Dionysus. That's Bacchus. You read about that in 2nd Maccabees, the 6th chapter. We had to celebrate Bacchus, right? Which was really some of the origins of Christmas in Maccabees, man, when they were celebrating Bacchus. How, Frigga, all these so-called gods. Horus, right? Horus goes back to December 25th. The lord of misrule, Mithras, right, was born during the time of the winter solstice. Odin, right? Saturnalia, right? That's during the wintertime. So forth and so on. So these are the so-called other gods that are worshipped during the time of the wintertime. And white Jesus, he's also one of these fellow deities. There's nothing special about white Jesus. There's nothing holy about white Jesus. He's just another pagan god that they have set up. Not our true Lord Yahushua, who was born around the time of the Passover, but white Jesus in Christianity is nothing but paganism and freakism. Now, one more real quick. This is where it was made official. There's a pope named Pope Julius. Saint Pope Julius, he is the one that actually made it an official day. Because back then, everybody knew you had these gods that were worshipped during the wintertime. Saint Pope, he said, you know what, man? He was an Israelite. He said, you know what, man? We're gonna worship the Roman God. Let's just make it a day, right? So let's jump down and read about that. It reads, Saint Pope Julius was born in Rome and became Pope in 337 to 352. He was our 35th Pope and was most noted for fighting Arianism, so which means he more than likely believed in the Trinity. He also was successful in uniting the Eastern bishops and Western bishops through synods. One of the things that we remember Saint Pope Julius for is his setting December 25th as the birthday of Jesus. Let me read that again. One of the things that we remember Saint Pope Julius for is his setting December 25th as the birthday of Jesus. The Catholic Church has celebrated Christmas, which is his birthday, December 25th, as being on December 25th ever since his papacy in 337. This is quite a test of time if you think about it, nearly 1,800 years ago. This is where it comes from, huh? Tell your pastor. Ask your pastor who's Pope Julius. Ask your deacon, your bishop. Talk to your mother, your father about St. Pope Julius and why did he have to make it December 25th and where that comes from, right? What you got it, King?
Khan, yeah, I was just going into it too, real fast. I want to read it. This is on Wikipedia, right? Pope Julius. It says, was the Bishop of Rome from 6 February 33-7 to his death on 12th of April, right, 352. He is noble for asserting the authority of the Pope over the Arian Eastern bishop, as well as setting December 25th as the official birth date of Jesus. All right, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 104, and verse number 20. It says, He maketh the darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. Right? So the beasts of the forest on a spiritual level are these nations, right? Are these demons and these spirits. And they often thrive and they come out at night. There's certain creatures you'll never see in the daytime. You don't necessarily see a bat normally in the daytime. You don't see certain animals like a fox normally in the daytime. You see a lot of these spirits, right? They only come out at night. Some people just open up their bed, they yawn. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They just getting their day started, man. They going outside at night. They getting drunk, right? You stay up all night, right? See, staying up all night is not biblical. You're not supposed to be staying up all night, right? And I got a precept on that, brother. I mean, the Lord ain't give you no bedtime, but you know it's wicked to just be up all night. That's evil. It's nothing up, so like it's nothing out. Be evil spirits. Go to Sirach chapter 32 and verse number 11. Baba Gashar. Sirach chapter 32 and verse number 11. See, ain't nothing out, but drugs, fights, demons and riots and spirits. It's Sirach 32 and 11. Says, rise up bedtimes and be not the last. So the Lord said, look, rise up in the morning and don't be the last brother that woke up. You don't want to have a household full of people. You got 8 people in your household. You the last one waking up all the time. You just waking up. It's 12 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You just now getting up. That's a slothful man. Where the Lord said, rise up bedtimes. Like Abraham woke up early in the morning, man. It says in the book of Jeremiah, the 44th chapter, verse 4 all the way down, I send my prophets rising early, paraphrasing greatly. It says, and be not the last, but get thee home without delay. What does it mean, get thee home without delay? Meaning, don't be the brother that's waking up late, and don't be the brother that's the last one in the house. See, if you're the last one in the house, right, that's off. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, here you are creeping in the door. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, here you are coming home. And the Lord said, get thee home without delay. Meaning, don't be out because ain't nothing but sorcerers and wizards in the street. That's where they thrive and they get their power from, by being out at night. And even Sirach knew that through the spirit, and he was giving you that wisdom to be able to avoid those type of spirits. Right, you got it, King.
That's right. That's right. So these spirits, like the brother's going into, all of this is about darkness and freakism, man. And what would compel Pope Julius Pope Julius what is he, the first or whatever he is, right? You always have these popes, so-called leaders, that have sold out to the Roman Empire. That's what this was about. It was about, this is what all of our wicked kings have done, man. They've always incorporated pagan customs into the scriptures. They worship the god of the Assyrians. And when you read Second Chronicles, let me get a quick precept, right? Let's go to Second Chronicles. I believe let me get this chapter 29, right? This Second Chronicles, actually I want 28, Salakia, right? Chapter 28 and verse number 19. It reads, for Yahweh brought Judah low because of Ahaz, king of Israel, for he made Judah naked and transgressed sore against the Lord. You see that? So a lot of our kings, leaders, they make you naked, man. Meaning they take away this truth from you. They take away your garments. They introduce wickedness, man. Even today, these our so-called leaders in the world, if you're in the world, are nothing but rappers, athletes, celebrities. And all they introduce is weed smoke, naked women, freakism, blunts, tattoos, violence, gang banging, and they make the young men naked, man. And you grew up without your spiritual garment. This is what those popes did when Jake was in power, man, in the Eastern Roman Empire, during the Byzantine Empire. A lot of those Jakes, man, was just stripping Israel left and right by incorporating pagan customs, man. Sunday worship, then a Sunday law from Constantine. Pope, this Pope introduced Christmas. This Pope did this, and they fell victim to the pagan customs around them. That's something that Israel's known for. Falling victim to the false gods around you and introducing it to the sons of the living God, man. Right? Give me a captivity, or give me a time when Israel didn't go into captivity because of idolatry, man. You know, that's what the Most High said in Deuteronomy 7. I'm not going to get it, about breaking these gods of these nations down, burning their altars, burning their pictures with fire, man. You know, because if you let a damn grove exist, all of Israel is going to go a horn after it. Right? Let me get this in Judges real quick. One more quick precept. Right? Let's go to Judges. Right? This is about regarding Gideon. Right? This is Judges chapter 8 and verse number let's see what I want. 33. Judges chapter 8 and 33. And it came to pass, as soon as Gideon was dead, that the children of Israel turned again and went a whoring after Baalim, and made Baal Berith their god. And the children of Israel remembered not the Lord their God, who had delivered them out of the hands of all their enemies on every side. And that's what you do when you celebrate Christmas. You don't remember the Most High, who brought you out of Egypt, right, with a stretched forth hand and a mighty arm. But you went a whoring after these gods that are around you, man, and serving Baal and damn Mithra and Horus and Ishtar and damn all of these deities, man, that have nothing to do with the Bible, you know. So this man, he went off. Saint Pope Julius went the hell off. He got a lot of blood on his hands, man. How many people? I mean, billions are getting down. You know, so hey, man, the Lord said, "A sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places." You know, you're supposed to have the most discernment as the leader of the congregation, and he was the Pope, and he freaked off, right? And he freaked off with false gods, made everybody damn naked, man. You know, Saint Pope Julius. So, kind of moving on. Now, dealing with so-called Christmas, you'll often see this devil. You can say, well, how is he a devil? Right? He brought my son his PS5, and you know, he always comes down and he helps me out. And when I don't have rent money and bill money, he comes right on time. You got grown people that believe in this, man. I couldn't pay my bills. He came on time. Right? Santa Claus. Grown people still believe in Santa Claus. Right? This child molester, man. You know? Why does he, what's his deal about having people just sit on his lap? What's his deal? Now, if you sat on Santa Claus' lap, hey, look, brother, you might want to repent. We'll just put that out there. And if you put your children on Santa Claus' lap, and you need to repent, man. Put your damn 4-year-old daughter on this old white man's damn lap, man. You know, and she can't explain what the hell is going on his lap, man. And he pulled his damn garment over, and all hell is breaking loose, man. So you got to watch out for these. Only a child molester and a pedophile will want to be Santa Claus at the shopping mall. But you got it, King, before we dive into this.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. You know, only a molester and a sodomite would get joy into a children, man, that are not his, right? And he doesn't know their parents. Now, you know, brothers may know, you know, each other, you know, through the spirit. That's my little niece, that's my little nephew. But if you don't even know their parents and you get off, you know, with these children, that's is nothing more than a pedophile. You about to say something, King?
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of these. One quick point: a lot of these so-called Santa Claus mall people, they be sex offenders, and a lot of them they don't wear no drawers underneath, and they wear very thin pants on purpose, right? But you got it.
Yeah, yep, that's a fact. This First Kings chapter 12, and I'm gonna start at verse 31. Right, First Kings chapter 12 and verse number 31. Right, and it reads, and he made the high places and made priests of the lowest of the people, were not of the sons of Levi, right? Right. So Jeroboam was going off. He made people in high positions, right, to execute the priesthood that weren't even Levites. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month and the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. So he took it upon himself to make his own high holy day on the left hand side, right? That's exactly what Israel does, man. They had their annual cookouts. They'll have their annual this. They'll have their graduation parties, their birthday parties. They make their own feasts. They make their own celebrations to go off. And he offered upon the altar and did in Bethel sacrificing unto the calves that he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priests of the highest places which he had made. And he did this, in wickedness, right? That way they may have a God that had them to come out of Egypt, right? It says, so he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel in the 15th day of the 8th month, even the month which he had devised of his own heart. That's exactly what the Pope did. He devised these things out of his own heart. And he said, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. See, a man with power is a deadly man if he's not using the power to magnify the Most High. See, somebody with too much authority that can't channel that authority righteously is going to destroy all the people. That's Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. As is the judge, so is the officer. As is the pope, so is the land. As is the king, so is the land. You look at all of these wicked kings, what did they do? They had everybody falling right along with him. It said he devised of his own heart and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel. Now you think the children of Israel didn't want to come? There's one thing about Jake, they love to party. They love to turn up. And you gotta picture this in the ancient world. This isn't just they proclaimed the feast, right? And
Right.
then they all right, like this is the medieval times, and it's not. No, they had music, right? Fire, right? They had altars. They had, all of the people came out. Like you got your local celebrities or your hood stars, man. They all coming out. Everybody that was wicked in Israel was coming out, man. It was like a big thing, right? Like a cookout or a block party. It says, and ordained the feast unto the children of Israel, and he offered upon the altar and burned incense. Right? So you got to watch these things coming up out of your own heart and the things you do. I got one more in the book of Job, chapter 12, in verse number 20. Job chapter, I'm gonna start at 22. Job chapter 12 and verse number 22. It said, he discovereth deep things out of darkness and bringeth out to light the shadow of death. Meaning the Most High is going to show you and open up things that are hidden in secret. So there's nothing hidden in secret that's not going to be manifested in the last days. See, a lot of people for the longest time, they didn't know the origins of Christmas, where it came from, even how to find it, if it's a book on it, right? If there is any links on it, or even that it was evil, and the Most High is bringing these deep things out of darkness. Where all praise to the Most High that He has showed, right, the origins of these wicked high holy days on the left hand side. Now it says, and increased the nations and destroyed them. He enlargeth the nations and straightened them again. He taketh away the heart of the chief of the people of the earth. Or what a chief of the people of the earth, the Israelites. He taketh away our heart, meaning our mind, and causeth them to wander in a wilderness where there is no way. Right now, wilderness is manyfold. We're in that wilderness. He has taken away our mind because we trusted in other gods, and now we're wandering around trying to figure out what's going on. Am I Muslim? Should I worship Christianity? Right? It says they grope in the darkness without light, and he maketh them to stagger like a drunken man. And we stagger, right? We don't know which way to go. We have no idea what's going on. But that's why reading is so important. We grope in darkness without light, meaning we're groping for something to hold on to the point where we're following and doing anything. Because we seemingly in our mind have no heritage. So we're cleaving on to anything that seems to be light, right? It says, and he maketh them to stagger like a drunken man. And a drunken man can't walk straight. Meaning the Lord is saying you'll walk in every path, right, that you're going to stumble in.
Come. It's right. And I was looking this up. I was getting at a precept. I typed in, this is what I typed in. right? Mall Santa sex offender. Look at this. Look at this stuff that's popping up. Because you might have thought we was playing, man. We're not playing games. It's the Monday Night Fire, man. Right? Oh, they're making that up. You guys are exaggerating, right? The Lord said, thou shalt not lie, man. Greatly paraphrasing, right? Registered sex offender dressed as Santa. Registered SO dressed as Santa, but what was his crime? Well, we know what his crime was, man. Now you can say, well, click the link. Well, we could click the link, man, right? And see what happened. So we're not making this up. These guys that wear these thin pants and these fake beards, man, watch out, right? Turns out that one Santa found himself on the naughty list. An Orlando man working as Santa Claus for hire was arrested last year after law enforcement officers found his ad on Craigslist. There was one problem with the man's Santa ad. He was the registered SO. Even though he was convicted in 93, he still had to report his occupation and the email that he used to communicate with clients, right? So they arresting these bad Santas, man, right? So you got to watch out, man. Look at this, 12 more Santas, right? They got 12 of them. Convicted SO found guilty in 94 cold case, right? Well, that's Santa Clara, right? It's a little bit different. Let's see what else they have. Sex predator labels stick to former mall, Santa Mall. Are mall Santas giving background checks, right? Let's see. Milford Mall, Santa accused of exposing himself. It's off, right? Damn, doing this, man. Or a lot of these, I'm not going to get graphic, but a lot of these Santa Claus, look, you can figure it out. What this means, they expose themselves, man. And your child sitting on their lap, but they really exposed themselves prior to your child sitting on their lap. You know? We're not going to really go deep into it, but these are the things that are going on, huh? Look at this. Santa will be coming to town next month on judge's orders. So this is sick, man. Right? He's coming to town, but on judge's orders, man. So you got to watch out, man. You got to watch out. It was a little bit more on this. If you want to go back and read that, right, you can read it on your own about these mall Santas, right? It's like, let me go back. And what they're
It's Salaki King. It was a movie called Bad Santa, man. He was getting drunk, popping all the women, just going the hell off, living in people's houses. You know, like it was wicked, man.
Yeah, that's from what was that the one with Bernie Mac?
Yeah, con.
Yeah, that's a while ago. Yeah, it was freaking off, man. So again, you can look up all of this, you know, Santa for hire, you know, that they're looking into this, man. So Santa Claus, these mall Santas, you need to watch out for them. Now, Santa Claus, this old creepy white man that you see, actually goes back to an Israelite brother, right? A brother, a righteous, zealous, alms-giving lover of his countrymen, Saint Nicholas of Myra, right? That's why it's called Santa Claus, because it goes back to Saint Nick, right? And again, we're not going to read all of these articles, but if you decide to, read these, you can on your own. But we're just showing you where these different origins come from. The true story of Santa Claus begins with Nicholas, who was born during the 3rd century in the village of Patara in Asia Minor. At the time, the area was Greek and is now on the southern coast of Turkey. His wealthy parents, who raised him to be a devout Christian, died in a pestilence while Nicholas was still young. Obeying Yahweh's words to sell what you own and give money to the poor. Nicholas, who used his whole inheritance to assist the needy, the sick, and the suffering. He dedicated his life to serving the Most High and was made bishop of Myra while still a young man. Bishop Nicholas became known throughout the land for his generosity to those in need, his love for children, and his concern for sailors and ships. And he didn't look like this. This is the result of iconoclasm and whitewashing. The original image, we could find that, of Saint Nick is that of a so-called black man. And if you find those older Russian icons before the whitewashing, so we type in black. Sad you got to type that in. Right? This is Saint Nicholas of Myra, a dark-skinned man with woolly hair, right? Who looked like this brother on the right, man. You know? This is Saint Nicholas of Myra, a dark-skinned man with the woolly hair and a woolly beard. So the generosity of giving gifts and giving presents has nothing to do with the so-called white man. The white man is cruel. You know, the so-called white man, Esau, is a demon. He's a hypocrite, a violent man. He's not giving gifts to children. He's sacrificing children. He's the one molesting your child. He's the registered sex offender. He's the pedophile. He's the sodomite. What love does he have for children, man? When 6 million of them girls in DC, them children went missing, man. Think in Ohio, it was 2.1 million children went missing under his hand, under his watch. Billions of so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American women and children and men go missing under his watch. He despises children, man. He steals them away from their families, sells them to other plantations, has invented the Child Protective Services, man, to take away your child with a snap of the finger, has indoctrinated your child, man, doped them up, you know, charged them with having disorders, freaked off with them, popped them, sold them, killed them. But now he's Santa Claus. One time of the year, he loves your young so-called Black Negro child. Once a year, he comes down and he has changed. CPS, he has disannulled CPS. He has disannulled the religious institution, his wicked indoctrination in the school system. And once a year, he comes down the chimney to show your little Negro child love. And he gets them the PS5. And he gets your daughter her easy bake oven. And he loves your child once a year. Right? Stop believing these fables. I want to get one quick precept. Right? I want to get this in 2 Peter, the first chapter. This is here it is. 2 Peter chapter 1 and 16. For we have not followed cunningly devised fables, when we made known unto you the power and coming of our Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, but were eyewitnesses of his majesty. So stop following cunningly devised fables where the so-called white man loves your children once a year, man. Right? And then every other day of the year, he's taking them away from you, and he's stealing them off the streets, harvesting their organs and shooting them when they got their hands up, man. Right? But he's supposed to be this all-giving Santa Claus. And one more point, not to be long with it, we actually brought that out at camp. And another theory on why they made him a so-called white man is because your child, his only time of happiness comes from a so-called white man. Right? He's busy watching you struggle. He can't get what he wants. You're paying all these bills. You're working all these 3 jobs. He got holes in his clothes, knees all dirty. He don't have no hot water. He don't have no lights in the house. All hell is breaking loose. And he's looking at somebody that looks like him, causes his life to be hell. But once a year, your so-called white man makes him smile. And he makes him happy. And he gives him the best time of his life. And you, I was going to say, you idiot Israelite parents, you dummies, you're going to give all your hard labor and credit, even though you're not supposed to be celebrating the day, you gave it to the so-called white man. I mean, just simple, man. Just simple. But you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. We want to get Job chapter 15 and verse number 25. Right? Job chapter 15 and verse, right, number 25. Right, and it reads, for he strengthened, right, stretcheth out his hand against God, and strengtheneth himself against the Almighty. Right, this is the so-called white man. Right, he stretches his hand against the Most High, meaning in his works, he's contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments. Everything that he does and sets his heart to do is against the creator. It's against the laws. It's against the statutes of the Most High. He pushes sodomy. He pushes iconoclasm. He
Right.
pushes everything and he stretches his hand, right, as if he's fighting or warring against the Most High. It says he runneth right unto upon him, even on his neck, upon the thick falseness of his bucklers, because he covereth his face with his fatness. And that's exactly what Esau do. He cover his face, man. You
Right.
never really could tell what Esau is doing, right? He's Superman, right? He's Batman. He's all of these heroes. He's Thor, right? He's Jesus Christ, right? He's God. He's Santa Claus, right? He's all of these things. He just covers his face, and you never know truly who he is. He's the businessman. He's the one that pays you, right? He's the hope of the world on the left hand side. So because he covereth his face, right, with his fatness, and maketh clops of fat on his flanks, and he dwelleth in desolate cities, and in the houses where no man inhabiteth, which are ready to become heaps. When he has stolen lands and dwells in cities where no man inhabits, because he stole them, huh? And he's going to be brought down low. But the point is, hey, this man covers his face. Tells you that in Job chapter 15, Isaiah the 25th chapter, right? Second Thessalonians, right? That this man of sin has to be revealed. These are all precepts and multiple witnesses showing you that this man hides the sin and who he is. That's why it's up for the saints of the earth to uncover his wickedness, man. To dive deep into the things that he is doing upon the earth and shew him his iniquities. Right? I'm gonna get that classic in Second Thessalonians, right? Chapter 2. Right? And I really want to start. I mean, this whole thing is fire. I'm gonna
Crazy.
start at 4. Yeah, it's fire. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. How does he do that? Is that talking about he physically sits down on the throne and he physically just grows out a beard? That's not physical, right? Himself showing himself, right, that he is God and above all that is worshipped is his acts, the things that he does. He makes himself high up. He makes you give him reverence. He makes himself through sorcery, lies, right, social media, taxes, laws, decrees, through his policies, like it says in Daniel, through the things he does, he makes himself a god on this earth, and chiefly above all through idolatry. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. Right. And a lot of the time we break down Matthew chapter 24 and 24, a false Christ on the earth, man. Right. A lot of men are coming in the image of Yahweh Shai through iconoclasm and lies and portraits and paintings and all of these things. We can't be neglected to see the things that the Lord has warned us. The Apostle Paul, Isaiah, Job. Right there, too many precepts showing you that this man covers his sin and who he is. But you got it.
That's right. That's right. So and he has, this is identity theft, man. Right? Like brother said, man, way back, if it was 100 years from now, Michael Jordan to be a white man, right? Michael Jackson to be a so-called white man, Prince, Barry Bonds, you
James
know,
Brown.
James Brown to be a so-called white man. Hey, they'll make Randy Moss and Mike Vick a so-called white man. 200 years from now, Lamar Jackson to be an Edomite, man. It's already coming out that Babe Ruth may have been an Israelite, man. You know, so you got a lot of and all these men, man. Beethoven, you know, was an Israelite, man. Pushkin was an Israelite, man. So it's already coming out that he whitewashed all these images, man. The Roman emperors, Diocletian, Maximus, Augustine, Constantinus, all those are Israelites, man. The Tetrarchy, Marcus Aurelius. They're mad at Gladiator too, because they made Macrinus be played by Denzel Washington as a so-called black man, but Macrinus was an Israelite, man. Claudius Albinus, Persinius Niger, the Severan dynasty, all those Roman emperors and generals were Israelites, man. All these early church fathers of the Byzantine Empire, they're all Israelites, man. The Crusaders, those were Israelites, man. Right? The inventions of the that running society, that was done by Israelites, man. All the so-called white man did was be a homosexual, a pedophile, a thief, and a murderer. That's all he's ever done on earth, man. Stop giving him all this damn credit. And stop telling your child that he's making him feel all warm inside as he slides down this chimney without your consent and freaks off, man. Yeah, that was Santa Claus. That was the white man. You see how good you feel? Thank the white man, right? Thank Esau for you. Stop doing that, man. Right? Now we're going to read a little of this. So this goes back to an Israelite man. Under the Roman Emperor Diocletian, right? That's a brother. He was going off. He was going off. Who ruthlessly persecuted Christians. So he was a very demonic man. When you read about the Diocletian persecution, Bishop Nicholas suffered for his faith and was exiled and imprisoned. The prisons were so full of bishops, priests, and deacons, there was no room for the real criminals. And that's how it's going to be in the last days, man. Right? There was no room for the real criminals, which were murderers, thieves, and robbers. Right? So we're not going to read this whole thing, but the true account of Saint Nick or Santa Claus goes back to Saint Nick, which was the bishop of Myra of Asia Minor. And he was full of charity and full of alms. And they took all of his great characteristics that you can embody with as an Israelite, and they gave it to the so-called white man who has no track record of any of these things, man. Right? The Lord said the thief cometh not, but to steal and to kill. You know? So you have that. And it's also combined with the so-called false god named Father Christmas. This is where you get Santa Claus from a mixture of Saint Nick, a so-called black man, and the old Edomite god named Father Christmas. Look at this demon. He's up to no damn good. Look at him. What good can come out of this man with this stick in his pot with a log on his back? Right? So let's read about this demon. Right? It reads, Father Christmas is a traditional English name for the personification of Christmas, also now known as Christmas gift bringer. That's where they get Santa Claus from. And typically considered to be synonymous with Santa Claus. He was originally part of a much older and unrelated English folklore tradition. So we're not going to read this whole thing again, but let's jump down. The popular American myth of Santa Claus arrived in England in the 1850s, and Father Christmas started to take on Santa Claus attributes. By the 1880s, the new customs had become established, with the nocturnal visitor sometimes being known as Santa Claus and sometimes Father Christmas. He was often illustrated wearing a red, long hooded gown, because Saint Nick would wear, he would have a mantle. So they took that and they made this false god, trimmed with a white fur, right? Most residual distinctions between Father Christmas and Santa Claus largely faded away in the early 20th century. And modern dictionaries consider the terms Father Christmas and Santa Claus to be synonymous. You see that? Right? So Father Christmas is another so-called deity that goes back to the Norse that was worshipped around the time of the winter solstice. And they combined Saint Nicholas, the bishop, the Israelite brother, his attributes, and they gave it to this demon. And they morphed into this so-called God, this omniscient God named so-called Santa Claus. Right? Now I'm gonna jump down real quick. This is here it is. Let's see. Salakia. Let me jump up. This is what I want. So it reads, it says early midwinter celebrations, which goes back into what? The worship of winter gods, of the solstice. The custom of merrymaking and feasting at Christmastide first appears in the historical record during the High Middle Ages. See that? 1100 to 1300. This almost certainly represented a continuation of pre-Christian midwinter celebrations in Britain, which, as the historian Ronald Hutton has pointed out, we have no details at all. Right? Personifications came later, and when they did, they reflected the existing custom. So the point is, this guy goes back to the worship in the time of Yule, right? And Yule was where you get a lot of so-called Christmas origins from. And during the time of Yule, they believed that the sun was going to set or didn't set for 12 days, something along those lines. And they got a great period of darkness where they could worship their so-called gods that they worshiped, and that's where so-called Father Christmas came from, right? That's where so-called Father Christmas came from. It goes back to the time of Yule, right? And that's why you saw so-called Father Christmas with a log on his back, because they would burn the log every year, right? And you have the custom of 12 days of Christmas, right? And that goes back to darkness worship. So just one more point. It says the familiar custom of burning the Yule log dates back to earlier solstice celebrations and the tradition of bonfires. The Christmas practice calls for the burning of a portion of the log each evening until the 12th night. So that's why people believe that Christmas is 12 days. It goes back to the worship of pagan gods during the time of the winter solstice. These are solstice darkness celebrations. That's where Father Christmas comes from. And they tied in the beautiful traits of St. Nicholas, and they made your local neighborhood Santa Claus. Right? You got it, King.
Con, yeah, I just wanted to bring out the point. Fire, it could be used on the right hand side or the left hand side.
Right.
We do it through the right hand side, through sacrifices. But you often see fire, right, is to kindle, to have a sacrifice done, right, for these false gods, right? And this is the spirit of the heathen, right? They dragging a log, they cutting it down from the tree, right? And a lot of this, like we going into, stems from the Roman Empire, right? I want to get this quick precept. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and verse, I'm gonna start at 15. Right? It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13, and I'm gonna really start at 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all both. So like, I'm gonna start at 14. That's what I wanted. It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles, right? World War III bombs, nukes, right? False deities, the false prophet, all of the miracles and the things done, he deceiveth them through the miracles. It says, which he have power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live, right? So the same thing America does, it images after the ancient Roman Empire. And I want to get in Revelation chapter 19 and verse number 20, right? Right, and it reads, it says, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, right? These are so-called religious leaders, all of Christianity, all of these different things on the left-hand side, right? They're your false prophet and your liars, your soothsayers, right? But your fathers of the church on the left-hand side is Esau, right? And you have a lot of false prophets, right? This is manyfold, right? It says that wrought miracles before them, with which he deceiveth them that have received the mark of the beast. So if you're deceived, you really think this stuff is real, you're celebrating this stuff, you're convinced in your mind that it's okay, it's normal, right? I mean, this is just life, and you have to adapt to the new world, and you're being over righteous, and it's not that serious, right? You have the mark. You have been indoctrinated, right? You don't know what's going on. You have denied the Father and trusted in the works, right, of the false prophet. It says, "And them that worship his image." These both were cast alive into the lake of fire with brimstone. So it just goes to show you how strong sorcery is and deception over all the earth, that the Lord mentioned the false prophet in the midst of all of this. It's going to be a lot of people tricked that don't know what's going on in the latter days. But you got it.
That's right. That's right, man. And this will throw off a lot of people, man. See, there's so many. There's an amalgamation of different religious ceremonies all combined in one. So when you're into Christmas, it's not like you're just serving one false god. This is the day where you're celebrating. You're worshiping at least 1,000 so-called false gods, right? You're worshiping at least 1,000 so-called false gods. And all you Christians, you can't say you believe in the Lord and celebrate Christmas at the same time. If you're an Israelite, you can't say, well, okay, well, I got to do it for the children. It's idolatry. It's one of the chief days of idolatry. Now, there's also going into Christmas. It's related to a lot of demons. Look at this demon. Long, nasty tongue demon. And there's a lot of false gods with long, nasty tongues, man. Shiva, I believe it's Shiva. Them East Indian gods, they got long tongues. You see these celebrities, they be sticking out their tongue. It goes back to ancient demonic worship, right? Now, this is Krampus, right? This is Krampus. So they had Saint, this is supposed to be, this image right here is supposed to be Saint Nick. But they made, I hate these damn devils, made him a so-called white man, right? Anyways, and then they have this demon behind them called Krampus. And legend goes that Saint Nick, he was giving good things to the good kids, but if he was a bad kid, there was a demon named Krampus, and he'll come and eat you and molest you, right? Now, we're not going to, again, disclaimer, like for every article, we're not going to read the whole thing, but let's read this part, the beginning. Christmas has long been a celebration of joy, as Santa Claus rewards all the good girls and boys. And I don't want no white man, Edomite, knowing what my child is doing all day and all night, man. When they're asleep and when they're awake, when they're naughty or when they're nice, man. You don't need to know that. See, this double, man, he's watching you through the damn camera, your laptop, and your phone. He's listening to your microphone. He's studying your travels and how many steps you took today. And he wants to know everything about you, man. Right? Anyways, so they give good boys and girls presents and holiday cheer. Children who have not been so nice are said to receive a lump of coal in their stockings instead of a gift. However, many years ago, children received a visit from the Christmas devil, a consequence more frightening than coal. The legend of Krampus dates back centuries, originating as a German Christmas tradition during the 12th century. Beginning in early December, the children of Germany would begin to hear whispers of a dark-haired creature bearing horns and fangs, carrying a bundle of birch sticks used to swat naughty children. Now, it doesn't say this, but I'm led to believe this goes back to Jake and when they was ruling and when Esau was coming into power, they made a legend about Jake. That's the Moors. According to traditional narratives of Alpine folklore, the Krampus would enter the towns, lashing his chain and bells to capture the bad children in a basket and bring them down to the underworld. Krampsnacht or Krampus night would occur the evening before December 6th, when the nice German children were rewarded with presents in their boots. That's where the stocking comes from. Look at this demon. So Christmas is full of dark origins and demonism. Imagine this dude come up, man, licking your child, putting them in a basket. Who wants to celebrate this, man? If you really want to celebrate Christmas all the way, okay, well, bring in Krampus. Stop just making it about Santa Claus. Bring in this demon. Look at this creep. I mean, how demonic can you be, man? How is this of the Lord? Why does he have a long tongue taking your child with a chain on him and a stick? But this is Esau. This is Esau for you, man. That's these devils for you. So this is part of Christmas too, man. Look, they got a Krampus doll for $89. Look at this. I'll be damned. Who got $89 to spend on this? Look at this. Madness. An old white man in Krampus, right? Old white man in Krampus. Absolute madness, right? So this what this, you Negroes, some Negroes are going to add this to their cart and they're going to check out tonight, huh? So this is what Krampus is. This is part of the so-called Cinemas origin, right? Also, like Arab was going into, it goes back to the Roman Empire, Saturnalia, right? Saturnalia, which is the worship of Saturn. It was a day dedicated to worship Saturn, right? So I'm gonna jump down real quick, right? Like I said, we got a lot and we press for time. So I want to jump down to what went down on the worship of Saturn. Okay. It reads, and this was around the time of December 25th, around that time, right? The day was supposed to be a holiday from all forms of work. That's why you're off, Jake. You're off on Christmas because you're in the Roman Empire. They did it back then, they're doing it now. Schools were closed, sounds familiar, and exercise regiments were suspended. Courts were not in session, and so no justice was administered, and no declaration of war could be made. After the public rituals, observances continued at home. On the 18th and 19th of December, which is the winter solstice, which were also holidays from public business, families conducted domestic rituals. They bathed early, and those with means sacrificed a suckling pig. See that? This is what they offered, man. A baby pig. They would violate the laws of God. When you can't take the mother and the child, man. And they'll take the damn sucking pig, man. You know? That's why you Negroes eat roasted pig on Christmas. So they will offer a suckling pig, a traditional offering to an earth deity. Right? You got it, King.
Yeah, that's off. That's completely off. I'm gonna read it real fast. It says, a suckling pig is a piglet fed on its mother's milk. Right? That's off.
That's right.
Well, and they're giving us, right, and Esau know exactly what he's doing. It's not by chance a pig is offered, right? Fire is involved, right? The Roman Empire and their traditions are craved into America's traditions. It is not all by chance. You got to wake up, man. This world is wicked, and the more, that's why the Lord said, let me get this quick precept, right, in 2 Corinthians, right, chapter 11 and verse 13. Right, you do have light on the left-hand side. You have the illuministic on the left-hand side, right? The Lord said, where the light is as darkness in the book of Job. I don't want to get that next through the Spirit. It says, for such as false apostles, meaning these men during this time, they were acting as if they were on the level as Paul, working hard as Paul, and that they were truly sent, and that their works were something to be amazed at, that they were seducing the church of Corinth. Deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Christ. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. And what is Satan going to play on, man? He's going to play on your emotions, your feelings, your desires, the things you love the most, right? Tradition, right? Going with the flow, following the multitude, being accepted. These are things that draw in. You got that light on the porch. You got all those insects that draw nigh to it, man. And they all draw nigh to that light, and then it kills them. That's the same as America, man. Everybody draws nigh until the ball drop on the 1st of January. People draw nigh into these things, and they don't even know the things that they're even entertaining. It says, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So this world gives you light in the midst of darkness. Let's go to the mighty book of Job. right? Chapter 10, right? And verse number 20. Job chapter 10 and verse number 20, right? I'm gonna start at 21, right? And it says, before I go whence, I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. Right. So Job is speaking in the spirit, right? This is a deep thing that Job is going into. Look, I'm gonna go, right, not in this life, but I'm gonna go into the land of darkness, right? Of the shadow of death, right? It says a land of darkness as darkness itself, meaning a land without order, a land without laws, a land without morals, where you can do any and everything. See, this kingdom is every kingdom built into one. They have taken their laws into this kingdom. They have taken the ancient gods and put them in this kingdom. They have taken everything of all the other kingdoms and made this the most wickedest kingdom. It says, as darkness itself and of the shadow of death without any order, where, right? Salaki, you could zoom out a little bit.
Slaki.
Water. Where the light is as darkness. So, see, on a spiritual level, you don't see the amount of darkness that's really in Babylon. Right, through deception, you look at it as light. And the more light it is in your eyes of lust and love of this world, the more you're going to be attracted to darkness. This is called sorcery, man. That's in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter. The Lord speaks about sorcery and that great light being put out. That light isn't a physical light bulb. It's the sorcery of this world that's pulling you in. There's really darkness. You understand? But you got it, King.
No, that's right. And I want to get this precept where I want to go to the book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter, right? To dive into that. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse number 3. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. This is going into the return of Yahweh Shah. And this Egypt is a spiritual Egypt, which is Babylon the Great, that same great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified in Revelation 11 and 8. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. So the Most High is telling you that this is not a God-fearing society. This is not a nation that trusts in the Most High, even though they put it on their dollars and coins and currency. You know, this isn't a nation that really believes in the God of the scriptures, man. You know, I believe in the 80s, this society actually made, what was this, 83 or something like that? They made one of these years the year of the Bible, man. Right? They actually made, let me see if I can find that real quick. 1983, the year of the Bible, right? A year when Ronald Reagan proclaimed the Bible's influence on the United States and its citizens, which is hypocrisy. So they actually claimed a year called the year of the Bible. And you know what was going on in 1983 during the year of the Bible? Well, actually, great uncle, your uncle who was smoking crack, right? And your mother who smoked crack and gave birth to what they call crack babies whose damn brain was all mushed up and turned to damn molasses, man. Right? And your uncle who was on crack and dope, right? Ask these gang lords and drug lords who came into prominence in the late 80s, early 90s in the hoods in the cities of Detroit and Chicago and LA, man, during the year of the Bible. So this society is full of, like the brothers going into, like the scriptures say, idols and sorcery, man. This is not a God-fearing, Bible-based nation. They have idols. They have false gods. You don't have to believe us. The Most High said it. They're going to seek to their idols and to their charmers. A charmer is somebody that deals with amulets and idols and objects that put spirits on people. Like you may wear a lucky charm. A charm, you got people saying this is my lucky charm. A charm is an idol that brings about so-called energy and really demons. It brings demons to you. So a charmer is somebody that makes these objects and that puts demons on people, right? Through seducing. And these people that make these trees and these Santa Claus, they're charmers. Because this stuff puts spirits on people, man. Right? And to them that have familiar spirits somebody that has familiar spirit is somebody that knows how to get a demon to do what it wants to do. Right? That's somebody that has familiar spirits. They can put demons on you. They can talk to the demons, and they know these demons. And to the wizards. A wizard is somebody that deals with sorcery, right? So again, in society, Lammy backing off what the brother had went into, is heavy into witchcraft and sorcery, and Christmas is part of this, man. Saturnalia is part of this thing. I mean, you're worshiping a baby pig. I mean, how wicked can you be? A traditional offering to an earth deity. And then he had human offerings on Saturnalia. Human offerings were going on, right? Now, check this out. It says, and this is for human offerings. So this is your Christmas origins. In sources of the 3rd century AD and later, Saturn is recorded as receiving dead gladiators as offerings during or near the Saturnalia. These gladiatorial events, 10 days in all throughout December, were presented mainly by the quaestors and sponsored with funds from the treasury of Saturn. That's your Christmas Day special when the Lakers play the Celtics, or the Christmas football game when the Dallas Cowboys play the Patriots or something like that. These gladiator games, and people be getting injured, you know. They do this in the name of these gods, man. People be harming their bodies. They make Jake put their life on the line. The stadium be packed on Christmas, man. It's a spirit behind this, man. Right? It's a spirit behind the sacrifice of labor and flesh to these gods, you know? And this was going on during what time? Saturnalia. And during the time of Saturnalia, it was a lot of lewd sex parties, man. Right? Freakism, lust, madness, you know. I'm not, and again, I'm not going to go too deep into this. Look at this. Female entertainers were certainly present at some otherwise all male gathering. What do you think the Romans were doing at an all male gathering? You think they had a council? They was breaking the scriptures down? Role playing was implicit in the Saturnalia status reversals. And there were hints of mask wearing or guising, right? So where's that at in the scriptures, man? So what does this mean? There was cross-dressing going on. You had cross-dressing, transvestism, transvestites. A lot of these Edomite guys that seem like they big and bad, and they wear their women panties when they go home, man. They be sniffing bras and freaking off, and they wear makeup. They dress up like women. You know? These Edomites, man, at your job, the only reason they get on you and they mad at you, sometimes it's because you're Jake, but they're really mad. This is my theory. They really mad because they got to be a man. They got to wear a suit and tie, act like a man. But they really want to be the ancient homosexual that they are. And they really want to dress like a woman. So they take all the deep trauma of not being able to dress like a woman and be a homosexual. They take it out on you. They writing you up. They firing you because they got all this damn lust built up inside of them, man. And they acting out. So when they go home and they put their damn makeup on, their panties and bra on, they're less tense and they're at ease, man. We know you damn devils, man. I can say that's not true. It is true, right? So they gambled on that day. They had gift giving on that day. The king of Saturnalia on that day, right? But you got a king. It's a little bit more on this.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring this out too. You know, I had a so-called meeting at work maybe like a month ago, and my so-called manager, you know, he was going the hell off in the meeting, man.
Wow.
You know, he was saying a bunch of wicked sodomite jokes that ain't had nothing to do with the presentation, man. Just bringing out wicked sodomy jokes, man. You know, paraphrasing greatly, and I'm not gonna get too deep. You know, he said, you can't go past a certain point. and that means you in the back and your rod. That whoa, where the hell that come from? That's
Wow.
like saying you can't go past this line. It's a work zone, and then he points out a man in the back and says that means you and your rod. You know, all the Jake, Jake on one side, Esau on the other side. I'm looking around the room, ain't no Jake smirk, ain't no Jake laugh. We just like, where the hell that come from? And then Esau just craving, slapping his knee, acting like a dog in the background. Like they got off on that joke, like that was an inside or something, right? So these devils, they're really off, and they're very sexual on the left hand. They get off on one another, man. Right? They love playing football. They love taking showers after football practice. Right? They're homosexuals, man. Right? And that's off. Right? I want to bring this out real fast. Right in the classic. But matter of fact, I want to get this in the book of Proverbs. Right? Chapter 2 in verse number. I'm gonna start at this whole thing is fire. 12. Right, Proverbs 2 and 12, it says, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh forward things. Right, just a bunch of wickedness, luring you, just forward. Forward is evil. It says, who leave the path of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness. So Esau left the path of the upright. He could have followed Isaac, right? He could have followed Adam, right? Cain and Abel. He could have had an opportunity to do these things, but he left the path of righteousness. It did not the Lord said, if thou shalt do well, paraphrasing greatly, it says, who rejoice to do evil. What is this rejoicing to do evil? That's a riot. That's these Saturnalia parties. That's that man on man and that Sodom. And they rejoice, and then they have fun to get off and do evil. It says, and delight in the forwardness of the wicked. So you gotta really peep what you like and you enjoy. You have people that have fun playing video games or watching basketball or playing cards or normal things that Jake may do, and then you got people that find certain things fun. You gotta watch what you watch as far as entertainment and what makes your soul happy and what you like. You understand? It says who rejoice to do evil and delight in the forwardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, right? It says they are forward in their paths, right? So every way about this man is going to allure you and lead you to wickedness and sin. I'm going to get one more in Proverbs, right? This is Proverbs chapter, right, 26 and 19, right? And this is also crafty what a wicked man says and does. It says, so is the man that deceiveth his neighbor and saith, am I not in sport? Meaning it was just a joke. Ha 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 ha. It's not that deep. Right? Deception and lies, they cover it up with happiness and joy. And it was just a game. It was just a joke. Well, it's not that serious. You got to watch out for people that'll deceive you and then say, am I not in sport? I mean, it wasn't not a joke. Wasn't not a game. And that's the spirit Esau do, man. That precept made me think about what was going on, right, at work, man. These wicked sodomites. But you got it.
Come on, that's right. That's right. And you got this a little bit more than this to add to that. Jumping down, it says, so this is what they were doing during so-called Saturnalia. And this remind you of the plantation. Patrons or bosses might pass along a gratuity, right? That's your so-called Christmas check, your Christmas bonus, to their poor clients or dependents to help them buy gifts. Some emperors were noted for their devoting observance of the Saturnalia, right? They had greeting cards and right. So this is Rome, right? But I want to jump down. Now check this out. The king of Saturnalia. So this is freakism, right? Imperial sources refer to the Saturnalius princeps, ruler of Saturnalia, who ruled as master of ceremonies for the proceedings. So he's the master of the feast. He was appointed by lot, so they cast lots, and has been compared to the medieval lord of misrule or the feast of fools. His capricious commands, such as sing naked. Now, where's it at in the scriptures, man? They gave authority to this king, this god of Christmas, and he could do whatever he wanted to do. He could commit any folly that he wanted to. He had no limitations. And if he told you to sing naked, and you had to sing naked, man. Right? And this guy was a freakism, man. You know? He said, hey, look, you get with that dude right there, man. And look, woman, and you get with that woman in front of everybody. So this guy would give wicked, lustful, lewd commands. He was the king of folly on his day. So whatever folly came to his mind, he would utter it, and they had to do it. Right? Where's it at on the Passover? Okay, Moses. Okay, in the 15th day of the month, Abib, the children of Israel shall have the king of folly. Right? He could do whatever he wanted to do to the lamb. And yeah, brother, spanking the lamb on the Passover, man. Spanking the lamb and, mocking it. That was folly. It says, throw him into cold water. They had to be obeyed by the other guests at the convivium. He creates rules, a chaotic and absurd world. It's madness, right? So they had this guy called the Lord of Misrule, right? And he was in charge of Christmas revelries, which often included drunkenness and wild parties, right? The Catholic Church in England held a similar festival involving a boy bishop. What the hell was that about? Come here, little boy bishop, little 12-year-old boy. You're going to be the king of wild parties and drunkenness. So this devil, that's why he has to be destroyed. A lot of people wonder, well, why y'all getting the so-called white man? Well, what did he really do? It's not that bad. Get over it. He had a boy bishop as the king of lewd sex parties, drunkenness, and wild freakism. That's what he had going on, man, during the time of sinless. During the time of sinless. And they gave you lewd, lustful commands. Right? Quick precept. It's a little bit more. We're kind of extending the time, but this Hebrews chapter 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. And there's really nobody more of a fornicator than Esau, who has to make everything about homosexuality. Right? He turns everything into wickedness, man. He has to find a way to make it off. Like you were saying, a joke. Something serious, he has to put it out. Hey, an Edomite, this reminded me when I was at the plantation. I was walking out, walking to and fro in a place, and this Edomite, he's one of the managers. He came up and he pointed at this like yellow pillar. He said that kind of looked like he didn't say rod, but he said, don't that look like a rod? And he laughed and he tried to kind of punch me on the shoulder, man. That has nothing to do with anything. Why is your mind on that, man? Who that's the fornication of the so-called white man. He's a profane man, right? For ye know how that afterward he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. So that's this damn devil, right? A fornicator, a profane man. All right, Christmas tree, right? Jumping down, Christmas tree goes back to Nimrod, right? This is in Jeremiah the 10th chapter. Why do people have a Christmas tree? Here's why. After Nimrod's death, Semiramis, which was his mother, if I'm not mistaken, promoted the belief that he was a god. She claimed that she saw a full-grown evergreen tree spring out of the roots of a dead tree stump, symbolizing the springing forth of new life of Nimrod. On the anniversary of his birth, which was December 25th, she said Nimrod would visit the evergreen tree and leave gifts under it. His birthday fell on the winter solstice at the end of December. That's why you bring gifts to this tree. When you bring gifts to this tree, you're saying Nimrod is God, Nimrod live forever. That's what you're saying. I don't care if it's a PS5 or a Sega Genesis or a damn whatever, man. When you bring that gift to that tree, you are in a ritual, a ceremony, saying, Nimrod, you are my God. May Nimrod live forever. Right? You have something, King? Come. And you can read about this in Jeremiah, the 10th chapter. The Lord speaks about this,
Right.
right? Right? He speaks about this. So you may say, well, my tree's not that bad. That's why these trees be catching on fire. People be tripping off with ladders trying to put the star in the tree and breaking their neck. You are literally saying Nimrod is my God. Right? Now, people believed, legend goes, if you did not bring gifts to this tree, the spirit of Nimrod would haunt you and kill you. So people, it wasn't a happy thing back then, right? Of a jolly time of putting gifts under the tree. It was in fear and dread. And they had to offer their offerings under this tree. And the ornaments, the glass balls would be people's heads that they chopped off that didn't reverence this tree. And it wasn't a 5-foot tree in your living room, in your granny house. These were 20-foot tall trees that was in public squares that all citizens had to come and serve, like Daniel, the 3rd chapter in the plains of Dura, where Nimrod set up his image, man. And if you didn't bring it, a Nimrod would kill you. You know? You got a king. Now I was going to touch on Jeremiah chapter.
Right, I want to bring this out in 1 Peter, right, chapter 4, in verse number 3. It says, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles. Right, and that's the classic. That's exactly what we did. We walked in the same things that they did, unknowingly of the wickedness and witchcraft that it actually was. It says, to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries. Now, this is classifying your Christmas, your Halloween, your parties, right? What you find fun. It says, wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same access of right, speaking evil of you. Right? It's an evil thing, but you don't accept that Christmas card at work, or you don't accept that gift card, or you don't accept the things that they try to give you in the spirit of Christmas. Right? It says, who shall give an account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? Right? So, I mean, we have to come up out of these things, especially living in the last days. It's not really a time to give your mind over to, shall I please man, shall I not please man. Hey, Galatians 1 and 10, I'm going to get this quick precept. In Galatians, right? It's the mighty book. Galatians chapter 1 and verse 10 says, do I now persuade men or God? I mean, where does your heart lie to persuade? You want to persuade the Most High, or do you want to persuade man? You persuade man, you're showing man that you fit in. You're showing them that you could pull up to these parties and you could be wicked just like they can. Persuade them that you're not wicked, you're not off, you're not weird, right? I mean, who cares? We have to persuade the Most High that we belong in His truth, that He could give us mercy, right? That He could plead on our behalf. We have to persuade the Most High, right, through mercy and praying and repentance. It says, or do I seek to please men? Seeking to please men were all of those weak men in the Gospels, man, that loved the reverence of the Pharisees, right, and being in the synagogues and the chief seats and being amongst the elders more than they did to worship Yahweh Shai, the Most High, through Yahweh Shai. It says, do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I mean, if you fit in and you're a lover of this world, I shall not be the servant of Yahweh Shai, right? And I want to get one more through the spirit in John chapter 7, right? And Yahweh Shai testified against this world, right? It's the book of John chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse number 4, right? It says, for there is no man that doeth anything in secret, and he himself seeketh, right, to be known openly. If thou do these things, shew thyself to the world. For neither did his brethren believe him. Then Yahweh said unto them, my time is not yet come, but your time is already ready. The world cannot hate you, but me it hateth, because I testify of it that the works thereof are evil. So the Lord was getting on the world, man, right? He will often upbraid the cities as he went through city to city. What was he doing? He was getting on the people, testifying that their works were evil. So, I mean, if you were wicked and you went in the ancient world, a lot of men would hate the Lord, man. They wouldn't want to get God on. They wouldn't want to get reproved. They wouldn't want that light to shine bright to reprove their works so that they could be perfect, because they love darkness. You got it.
That's right. That's right. And you people that get down with this tree, man, and you want to take pictures with it and go downtown, and they set up the city tree, and you're getting down with darkness, man. Right? You're getting down with darkness. We're showing you that it goes back to the worship of Nimrod, an ancient Babylonian man who ran the world into the new world order, man. Right? Let's get the classic. This is the book of Genesis. Slakia. Jeremiah, the classic, right? Chapter 10 and verse number 3. I'll start at 2. Thus said the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. Here's one of the customs of the heathen. For one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. And people go to the forest, they would chop a tree down, right? You couldn't just order one on Amazon. They would actually go there, take their children, they would chop the tree down. Jeremiah is giving you an ancient Babylonian tradition. This is what, 2,500 years before Yahushua was born, about the celebrating of Christmas trees. And they weren't called Christmas trees back then, right? They deck it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not. So they nail the tree down to the ground, and they put silver and gold on it, right? And why do they put silver and gold on it? The same reason that David, Solomon would dedicate the temple with golden shields and golden cups and brazen this and gold without number, because it's a sign of dedication to your God or to your temple, So when you deck your tree with silver and gold, you're reverencing your God and you're decorating your God. You're dedicating wealth to your God, right? That's why people put the lights up there, and they got to be so perfect. When people do, it has to be perfect. Don't let somebody mess up, man. Who's decorating the tree this year, right? A decoration goes into dedication. Who's going to put the star on top? People really get into this thing, man.
Right, the black angel at the top.
Yeah, the damn black angel. Mess up the tree if you want to, man. And they leave this tree on. It be damn March, and they still got the tree, right? So when you putting all these lights on and these colors, you're saying that I have to venerate Nimrod with gold and silver. These are the offerings. This is how far I'm gonna go to show I serve you. You can't be a bland tree. Your spirit can't be in this bland tree, Nimrod. I must decorate you, Nimrod, with gold and silver. You are my God. I will serve you, right? Furthermore, here are my gifts that I've labored, hours and hours of overtime, and double overtime. Here, Nimrod, here's more gifts for you, my God and my King. So it's a very, very demonic day, man. They can say, well, it's not that deep. You're making it that deep. It is that deep, man. Right? It reads, they are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good. So there was legend that this tree would get up and kill you. Jeremiah said, don't worry, that tree not getting up. People carry it. It can't go. It can't walk. It won't hunt your soul. Don't be afraid of the tree. Right? It's a tree, because there were stories that were spread about the worship of Nimrod to the Jews, and they heard about it, and they were kind of scared, like, man, I don't know, man. If I get there and this tree got the Lord, Jeremiah said, look, it's an idol. Don't sweat it. What do you think Baruch, the 6th chapter, the letter of Jeremiah is about, man? So you got to go into these accounts, man, and stop being ignorant, willingly ignorant. Yeah, people saying ignorant means nigga. If I hear that one more time, I'm gonna pluck my beards out. Ignorant does not mean nigga, man. That's some old jailhouse damn Negro folklore. Ignorant means without knowledge, right? It means to be without knowledge. So don't walk in the land of the living, depriving yourself of information that's for your salvation, right? You had Black Pete, right? Black Pete, kind of getting straight to the point. I mean, this is hold on, get Black Pete. Damn, Black Peter, right? So when you look up for brothers that have seen Black Pete, this is Black Pete. Black Pete goes back to the Moors that ruled Spain, Portugal, during the Middle Ages, right? And Saint Nick, he was a Jake too, during earlier. But Esau, what they do is they whitewash their face. I mean, not whitewash. What they call it, blackface, Salakia. They do blackface, and they all dress up, and their Christmas tradition, like a Negro, man. I can't. Esau, he has to find the time to put on. Look at all of this. Look at this. Look at this. Esau's fascination with Jake.
Just mocking you.
Mocking you. And it really, Esau, he's fascinated, man. He's mocking you, but he's also, he has to find an excuse to want to be you. Because listening to your Jay-Z and your DMX and your Nas isn't enough for them. Them saying nigga around each other is not enough, man. That the suntan lotion, which is really, damn, what is it? Like melanin that they put on is not enough for them, huh? The snapback is not enough. They have to have a reason. You said what?
Oh no, I was laughing, Con.
Yeah, they have to have a reason to actually be you. See, they ate you is not enough. They popped your children is not enough. Now they have to be you. Which emulate your thick lips, with your red lips, or not red, but your thick lips, your brown skin, your woolly hair. Look at this. Right? And they do this every day, man. Why don't they do this? Why don't they just be a Negro forever, man? Right? They'll take this off, you get pulled over, they're not going to put blackface on. When the police pull them over, hold on, let me put my blackface on. Look, I'm a Negro. Arrest me. Send me to jail. And when they're in a shopping mall, they're not blackface, man. They're not willing to get followed. The famous saying, look at this. This is some slavery stuff. White man on a horse. This is Ecclesiastes 10th chapter. All right? And look at this. This is madness. But this is where Christmas elves come from. It come from St. Peter, the so-called Negro, Black Pete. Now, again, we're not going to read this whole thing, again, like we've been saying. Man, there was so much, man. We may not have time to go to everything. But just real quick, Black Pete. Oh, this whole thing is good. All right. Look at this. Okay. Rather than the devil that had been made a servant of Saint Nicholas, like Krampus, Black Peter was now thought to be a slave who had become a willing servant of Saint Nicholas. Now, that's where you get them elves from. Many of the illustrations of racist symbolism often showing Black Peter in shackles and tattered garments. Peter's job was to remove the hay and carrots from the shoes that had been left by children underneath their chimneys, and to drop candy and gifts in their place. If the children had been bad, Peter wouldn't remove the hay, will leave a rod in the place of a gift. So basically they had this dude named Saint Peter that they made as a slave, and they made him a slave to the so-called white man, Father Christmas, right? And it goes back to the Moors being conquered by the Edomites during the time of the 1400s. You can read about that on your own. Ryan, you want to touch on that?
La. Yeah, I had Baruch, the sixth chapter. I was going to touch on that, but we kind of went into something else.
We get it.
All right, Con. I was going to get Baruch chapter 6 and 70. All right. It says get this real quick. It says, "For as a scarecrow in the garden of cucumbers keepeth nothing, so are their gods of wood, and lay over with silver and gold." Right. So that's what we was touching on earlier. You'll deck up this tree or you'll deck up this wood with what? With silver and in gold. Right. Linking up to Jeremiah the 10th chapter. Right. It says, "And likewise their gods of wood and laid over with silver and gold are like to a white thorn of an orchard, right? That every bird sitteth upon, and also to a dead body that casteth into the dark. And ye shall know them to be no gods." Right? So this Christmas tree, this how all these parties, all these origins and these idols. And the Lord said they're nothing. There's nothing to be scared of. Right? They're nothing to glory in. Who are you dressing your damn God, man? You done dressed your God, right? You dress, Edomites dress a dog, or you dress your children, man. Here you are dressing up your God, man. Right? You fixing your God, making sure your God is right. Your God can't move, he can't talk, he can't burp, he can't walk. It says, "By the bright purple that rotteneth upon them, and they themselves afterward shall be eaten, and shall be a reproach in the country. Better therefore is the just man that have none idols, for he shall be far from reproach." Right? So the Lord is saying there's nothing to fear or to be scared of. And a lot of these origins, you have to know the basis of these precepts. And the Lord touched on a lot of history in the precepts. You just have to know the context of what it's talking about. Con, you got it.
That's right. That's right. So all this all stems into the same thing. Black Peter, that's where you get your elves from, that he enslaves on the North Pole. You can read about this, right? Fraud Percha, which is the Christmas witch that is part of Sinmas, man. Right? The so-called, look at this, the Sinmas witch, Christmas witch, man. Right? So there's a lot of wickedness stemmed in so-called Christmas, man, that we're touching on. It's a very demonic, dark day, right? And we touched on slavery. I believe we did that 2 weeks ago. Jake, you was in slavery, man, right? You was getting enslaved during that time. Here's one more. We had Christmas was banned, right? It was the time they actually banned Christmas due to the wickedness that was going on, because there was so much rioting and so much freakism during Christmas. They had to actually ban it. They actually had to ban Christmas, right? It reads, the outright ban came in June 1647, when Parliament passed an ordinance banning Christmas, Easter, and Whitsun festivities, services, and celebrations, including festivities in a home, with fines for non-compliance. The Christmas ban was unpopular because people they got the day where they could freak off, man. Where these dudes could be with dudes, and these women could be with women. They could pop little boys. They could freak off, blow the trumpet. They had the Feast of Folly, the Lord of Misrule. They could sing naked. And when they told them they can't ban Christmas, that's like telling the Edomite you can't be a sodomite. You can't have National Association for Man-Boy Love. Hey, they'll lose their mind, man. They'll kill you. They're going to come against us because we're telling them that the world is evil, man. Quick precept. And John, right? John chapter 8, real quick precept. They're going to come at us, man, because we're telling them that the devices that they are in is evil. John chapter 8 and verse 46. Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do ye not believe me? And all we're doing is breaking this down, man, and going into the precepts. You still got people scoffing. They may not get it. I don't believe that. You're making that up. Why do ye not believe me? He that is of God heareth God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God. You see that? So these people who had Christmas banned, they were rioting, man. We're telling the people not to celebrate Christmas. They'll riot. They'll kill us, man. Like in Acts, they said, the 16th chapter, in the 17th chapter, it said it is not lawful for us to keep these commandments, being Romans, paraphrasing. He's teaching us to observe and serve another king who's not Caesar. So the people are riot because you're telling them not to follow the ways of the Romans, because they're not of the Most High, right? They're not of the Most High. So it says the Christmas ban was unpopular. There were riots in Kent and elsewhere in 1647. Although some of these may have been an excuse for pro-royalist rebels to cause trouble. A popular ballad, The World Turned Upside Down, was published decrying the ban. So when you told the so-called white man you couldn't be a sodomite, you turned the world upside down. You know, all you brothers in this thing, you should immediately think of a precept, right, about this in Acts the 17th chapter, right? These be they that have turned the world upside down, because they were telling them not to serve these gods, man, and these idols, the apostles. So now they made a song about them saying that you can't be a sodomite, you can't be with a boy, you can't serve Nimrod, you can't have these orgies, you can't freak off. The people say, oh, you're turning the world upside down. Right? But you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. Right, it's the book of Galatians, chapter 4, right, in verse, I'm gonna start at 16, right? And it reads, it says, am I therefore your enemy because I tell you the truth, right? And when you tell people the truth, right, it ruffles their feathers. It turns the world upside down, like brothers is talking about, man. People become your enemy. They hate you. They want to cast stones on you. They wanted to throw the Lord off of a cliff, man, right? I mean, these demons will get riled up because they hate the truth. The truth is Yahweh Shah. They don't want to hear that, man. They love the joy and lust of this world. It says, am I therefore become your enemy? And what did I have against you? Just because I have committed and told you the truth. Because I tell you the truth, right? And I want to get this other quick precept in the book of John chapter 12. It's John chapter 12, right, in verse 42. John chapter 12 in verse, right? I really want to start at, this whole thing is fine. I'm going to start at 40, right? It says, he had blinded their eyes and hardened their hearts, that they should not see with their eyes nor understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. Right? Meaning the Lord has preserved certain people to be destroyed. These things said Isaiah when he saw his glory, spake of him, right? Nevertheless, among the chief rulers, also many believed on him. So many people will understand the truth. They'll say that makes sense. I mean, it says history. How can I deny it? Right? There literally were Saudi and El there. There literally was a Babylonian god, false god. Right? These things literally existed. You could prove it through the archaeology certain people go through, right? A lot of scientists, they discover things. You'll see the ruins of certain artifacts, right? You could look it up in history, right? You have many books, many authors, many links, right? And many witnesses about the same account. And you can link it up biblically, right? Through all the precepts. I mean, what can you deny? It says, nevertheless, of the chief of the rulers, also many believed on him. Because of the Pharisees, they did not confess him. Meaning a lot of people aren't going to turn from the masses and the multitude of people, even though they know this is the truth. Because deep down within them, they don't want to upset the world. They don't want to upset their parents. They don't want to upset their friends, right? Lest they should be put out of the synagogues. For they love the praise of men more than the praise of Yahweh, man. Just because you can't see the Most High happy at your works or see him laying up treasure that you have done through your fruit doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. No man on earth has seen the angels rejoicing when one sinner repenteth. No man saw that, man. but that doesn't negate the spiritual things that are happening. You can see man clap, dance, embrace you, hug you, right? Exhortate you. You can see these things on a physical level when it feels good to your flesh. But what after spiritual things? Right? Our spirit cries out. Our spirit is connected to the Most High, not this flesh. This flesh is going to be destroyed and corrupted, right? And mellow away. We're going to get new bodies, right? Our spirit is the things that man should be more tied into, the praise of the Most High and the holy angels. It says, for they love the praise of men more than the praise of Yahweh. Yahweh Shai cried and said, he that believeth on me, believeth not on me, but on him, Slakia, but on him that sent me. And he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. I am come a light into the world, and whosoever believeth on me shall not abide in darkness. So you're going to come up out of all of these lies and traditions if you're truly believing in Yahweh Shai and believing on the Most High. That's why you got to turn from all of the wicked things that we have been through. It says, I am come a light into the world, and whosoever believeth on me shall not abide in darkness. So your fruit is going to declare what type of spirit you're actually in by not your words, but your actions. Brothers got it.
Yeah, that's right. And that reminded me of the account concerning the man that was born blind in John the 9th chapter when they pressed his parents out, and his parents didn't even want to and their own son, huh? They say he is of age, ask him, because they feared getting put out of the synagogue. And you're gonna have brothers, man. They're going to fear. They're going to fear their family not talking to them anymore. They're going to fear they may have a woman they dealing with that's into these holidays, is waiting on diamonds and rings and jewelry for Christmas, or children are waiting on a new car, and all these gifts. And you're not going to do it, man. And a lot of people are going to be scared, and they're going to do it because they don't want to deal with that separation. This John 9:31, quick precept. I mean, this account, man, shows you that even your parents, man, fulfill prophecy. John 9, and I'll read 20. His parents answered them and said, we know that this is our son, and that he was born blind. But by what means he now seeth, we know not. Or who hath opened his eyes, we know not. He is of age, ask him, he shall speak for himself. Right? That's like you told your parents the truth, and they know what you told them is the truth, but then people press you about it. I don't really know much about it. Right? And you could break it down too. Just ask this brother, ask my son. These words spake his parents because they feared the Jews. For the Jews had agreed already that if any did confess that he was Hamashiach, he should be put out of the synagogue. Therefore said his parents, he is of age, ask him. And that's off, man. Even this word, man. This is a fulfillment of Matthew 10:34. The Lord came to put a variance between fathers and sons and mothers-in-laws and daughters-in-laws, and a man's foes shall be they of his own house. Like we kicked off the lesson with Malachi 3, where the Lord said, then shall ye discern between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not. And you're going to have Israelites, man, that are going to freak off on this day. They're going to get tempted. They're going to go over to grandmother's house. They're going to help carve that turkey. They're going to accept that gift. They're going to get those gifts. They're going to gift wrap in Secret Santa and mistletoes and hotel parties at work and Christmas freakism and madness, man. And then after it's all said and done, they're going to take their Christmas sweater off, put their garment back on that they shook the damn dust off from the closet. They're going to iron it, get their Mithra, iron the letters back on or whatever, and pretend they was always in this thing. They're going to box up their Christmas sweater. They're going to put their tree down. They're going to put it back in the attic. Then they're going to come back out on a Shabbat and shake the hand. But you got it, King.
Khan, that's off if a brother does do that, man. Right? Stop being lukewarm in your approach and how you serve the Most High, man. Right? Hey, the Lord said you can never go far enough when you serve the Most High and you magnify and glorify his name. Right? But I'll bring this up real quick.
Con. If not, we can bring out closing precepts if you have something else.
Okay, con. Yeah, well, I'll just touch on it like I was saying. You can't be lukewarm. You might as well bring it up in the book of Revelation, right? Right, chapter 3 and verse number 15. Right, and it reads, I know thy works, thou art neither cold nor hot. And this precept, it cut me every single time I read it because you can never go hard enough for the Most High. What you're pleased with, the Most High may not be pleased with. The things you do and go hard with, right, may not be pleasing or up to the standard of the Most High. See, the things I do now, I would have been pleased with maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but I'm not pleased with them now. And I'm a mortal man, so who am I? The things you've done, 4 years ago, 5 years ago in this truth, or maybe 8 months ago, may read 2 chapters, you may make a video, do a chapter a day, you give alms once a week. That may be okay with you. But then you grow. You start doing more, and you look back at the things that you have done and see, well, I'm doing a whole lot more now. If the Most High allow us to continue to live in the land of the living and we increase more before the day of destruction, right, we're going to look back again and see what more we can do, how more we can grow, right? Every day you should be increasing more and more and more, right? Whether, prophecy, whether parables, brotherly love, and everything isn't the in-depth breakdown. You can grow in many ways. Chiefly, you should grow in the 2 greatest commandments, man. The fear of the Most High, loving the Lord with all your heart and soul, because that's in depthly which is going to lead to your faith in the latter days of the earth. The more you love the Most High and fear the Most High, the more you're going to be persuaded in your mind to die for the Lord and stand bold for the Lord. The more you love your brother, the more you love Yahweh. So these are also things you can increase of. So you should be increasing daily, not just by the peer pressure of just knowing all things, right? You should increase in everything. Not being lukewarm in one aspect. It says, thou art neither cold nor hot. I would that thou were cold or hot. So the Most High is not with that gray area, like they say in the world, man. That middle ground, right? You playing a 50. You doing it when you feel like it, right? If you set to the plow, you have to always work, man. Right? In the parable in the book of Matthew, they said we have borne the heat of the day, right? Going into getting that penny. Meaning the heat of the day is trials, adversity. Certain brothers that go out in the wintertime, they labor, right? They've been through fights, tumults, demons, uprises, uproars. We have borne the heat of the day. Hey, the heat can make you faint, man. Look at Judith's husband, Manasseh. He died on a barley harvest, man, fainted. In the heat. Heat could kill you. Right? Men have endured laboring, right, through that vineyard. The Lord said, look, if you're going to be in this thing, no matter what happens and you go through, you can't be lukewarm about it, man. So then, because thou art lukewarm, neither cold nor hot, this is the spirit of you Christians. This is the spirit of you men that want to serve the Most High only in the summertime, man. Only want to serve the Most High when men are around. Only keep the commandments when men are around. It says neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. And what comes out of the Most High's mouth, man? The word of life, right? He spoke, and the word was made manifest, man. Paraphrasing greatly. He will spew you out of the laws, the statutes, the commandments, right? The promises, everything that was spoken, right, by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, he will spew you out of it, man, and no longer deal with you, and you'll be likened unto spittle. You'll be likened unto these nations, right? Of a drop that falleth from a bucket, man. So you want to make sure you're examining your soul to continue to stay fervent as much as you can. You may not always be a consuming flame of fire, but that you don't want your fire to go out. Once your fire goes out, any man that's been a husbandman or outdoorsman has kept the Feast of Tabernacles or just been having outdoor experience, it takes a very long time to kindle a fire. And even a greater time to keep that fire going, right? But I want to get Revelation chapter 3 and verse number 2. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not kept thy Salakia, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Right? So the Lord is going to visit you when you least expect it. And David knew that when you read the book of Psalms, the 17th chapter, Psalms, the 26th chapter. Certain men know that any given time the Lord could visit you, man. Any given time, man. Right, so like I want to get one quick precept in Baruch 3, and I believe the third to the last verse. Right, the Lord is amongst us right now. Right, let's go to Baruch chapter 3. Let me get this last quick precept, and we can start at verse 35. This is our God, and there shall none other be accounted of in comparison of him. He hath found out all the way of knowledge, and have given it unto Jacob his servant, and to Israel his beloved. Afterward he shewed himself upon earth, and conversed with men. So the Lord shows himself upon earth, man. Right? You may be talking to an angel unawares. Maybe an angel recording your thoughts. And the Lord shows himself upon earth, man. He may show himself through the poor. You don't know the time the Lord is going to visit you. It's not always talking about destruction, man. The Lord may visit you, document whatever, and it could be brought up against you for destruction. So make sure you always on fire, because the Lord is on the earth, man. He was on the earth during the time of Abraham, right? Right? Those angels, when you read the book of Genesis, the 18th chapter. These are just precepts showing you the Lord could come at any given time, right? And afterward, he shewed himself upon earth, right? And conversed with men. But you got it.
That's right. That's right. I want to go to the classic in Revelation chapter 22, right? In verse number 12. Revelation chapter 22 and 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. And again, this is a season of heavy temptation, right? There's idols out there, lust, spirits, curses. These heathen are doing their spiritual wickedness in high places going on right now. There's a lot of spiritual work against the men of the Lord that may be affecting you. Spirits hopping on your household, maybe affecting your health. Spirits are hopping on people at your job to vex you, overthrow you, and get all into your mind and deter your faith, man. The Lord is coming quickly, man. Right? Yahweh Shah is touching the earth, and the Lord means that when he says he's coming quickly, man. So you brothers that are tarrying, you're trying to figure out, should I really keep the commandments? Should I be zealous? Should I be on fire for the Most High? I'm still trying to find my way. You better figure this thing out quick, man. Right? Because if you tarry, the Yahweh Shah is going to return. All hell's going to break loose. Jacob's trouble kick off, martial law, and the sound of the trumpet, and the economy crash, and blackouts, and then it's going to be too late, man. Right? Take advantage of the grace of the Most High. The Lord said in 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter, they should be in a pitiful case, right? And the 7th chapter, who have despised my ways, man. Right? So the Most High, he's speaking of those who misuse the time that they've been granted to get right. Even though you know the Lord is coming quickly, you're still taking your time. The Lord has a reward with him, man. Everlasting life, servants, handmaids, immortality, peace, right? True unity, congregations coming together under the banner of Yahweh Shah, right? Promises and crowns of gold and dominion. That's the reward that's coming for you brothers and sisters that are continually enduring in this fight, man. There's always a reward. Whenever you're doubting, you're conflicted in your mind, you're troubled, you have to think about the reward. And there's a payoff for the time and labor and sacrifice that you've been putting into this truth, man. Right now is not the time to cast all of the effort you put into this truth for months and years to the side, man. And the reward is right there. You're damn 3 inches away from the finish line. And the Most High is going to give every man according as his work shall be. Right? So everybody's going to get what they put in. If you put in, everybody's going to get 1 penny for the elect. But if you're the brother who does wicked works, you're slothful, you're lukewarm, you're half-stepping, you feign yourself to be righteous, but you're inwardly keeping holidays and of the world, the Most High is going to reward you for that with destruction and judgment. But you brothers that are sincere, you sisters that are sincere, you're laboring, you're building up your faith, you're praying, you're getting ready for the Feast of Dedication, the 24th at sundown, right? You're getting your house in order, things are being established, you have a mind to serve the Lord, you're going to get a reward for that, huh? There's a reward for not celebrating Christmas. There's a reward for not putting up that tree. There's a reward for not putting gifts up there. The Most High is looking at you, man. And he's seeing how you're serving the Most High. And Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord when the world was full of evil, violence, and confusion. You know, and Noah found grace. He was taking an exchange of the world, man. Right? So never forget the reward that the Most High has in store for you, man, according to the work that you put out there. Right? But with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh Shema Mashiach, Kwamalak Yabashai, Brother Nakwam.
Shalom, brother. Right.
Kwam Yashalom. Shalom.